What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Friday, January 28th to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. We have a huge show today. 5-game NHL card. We have Mr. Gogster joining us. Gogster coming off a 2-2 night last night, but running real nice on the show. 33-24, 57.9%, plus 7.04 units ROI, plus 12.35%. Average line minus 105. He's been excellent. Then we have college basketball. Will be second. Maxwell Smart went 1-2 yesterday, but that one winner was plus 212 on the money line for Long Beach State. So he keeps rolling. He's now up 7.45 units on the year, 84-75 plus 4.69 percent ROI. And then it's Daryl joins us. Daryl Rice is at 12 straight spread bets. 12 straight spread bets. As some of you guys know, I got some bad news yesterday at the end of the show. It pops up on the computer. I can't control that. What's important here is that I take too much for granted in life, and I'm so thankful to cap the card with you guys day in and day out. And I'm so thankful that I'm going to San Antonio at the end of March to party in person with as many of you as possible. By the way, our first guest, Mr. Gogster, just booked his flight. He's coming the same flight as me. Oh, God, it's going to be nuts. On Tuesday, the 22nd. So the whole Palapalooza is 24th to 31. But Mr. Gogster and I will be on there on the 22nd, which is also Teese's 50th birthday. He's flying in that morning, too. So it's going to go off. It's going to go off, and I'm just going to soak up every last second of it. God, need to do more of that in life. Shout out to Michael Ervelina in the house. Friday, big night last night. Needed it. Great job, Michael Ervelina. I went 3-1-2. 2 pushes, 3-1, though, in NHL, and I didn't bet NBA. I was angry over that total I missed by a half point. But a huge card, and I'm ready to attack it. And I was planning on making 2 bets, at least 2 bets, before I came on the show in NBA, and I didn't, which I'm fine with, because I'll talk them out and still attack them. They haven't moved yet, and you know what? If they move, it is what it is. There's Sammy Comer in the house, coming off a 4-0 day. Had a boy, Sammy. Michael Evelina says, "Are you going to hedge your 49ers futures?" It says, "I really think you should, since you have the Super Bowl future as well." He says, "If it was just conference, I'm not going to. I'm not going to make a big hedge. I'm not going to take the Chiefs at plus 120 to win the Super Bowl. We all expect them to get past the Bengals, but you know, and if it is the Rams that they play in SoFi, the Rams have a shot. I don't want to be sitting there screwed. And I've already made a move on the Niners plus 3.5. So I don't know. It's a tricky hedge because I would have to take the Rams money line, and that's minus 180. I was hoping if that could get down to minus 160. But I haven't invested a lot, and we've made so much off the 49ers the last 2 weeks. Michael really says that you could lose on a big 31 Super Bowl hedge. I say you make sure you get the money. $50, $50 at plus 3,000. I mean, sure, that's $1,500, but I'm still weighing my options right now. And I guess part of me wishes I didn't move on that 3.5, but I was so excited about the Niners victory. I legitimately thought that it wasn't going to be there. Great call by all you guys on the Blues. Again, I wasn't on the other side, but clearly a vividness or a recency bias in effect there, which bothers me enormously. There's James Lill in the house. Ixschnizzle ready to get to work. We got Ixschnizzle leans. Ixschnizzle leans Detroit plus 3.5. I kind of lean the other side. I get that Grizz minus 4 spot, but I think Donovan Mitchell's going to be in the lineup. Now, that's just me going on a hunch. I know he traveled with the team. The reason why I say that is because I would love to have the Grizzlies with Donovan Mitchell in the lineup. That wouldn't scare me, but wouldn't you rather that better number? So, or do you feel like the market is set with the idea that he is already in the lineup? Okay, I can't wait to cap the NBA card. Running with the capper who's as hot as Daryl right now is just going to be so much fun. Okay, Ryan Kozlowski already coming in with college basketball. By the way, that's how we're going to run things from now on. From now on, NHL, college basketball, NBA. It's always going to be like that. We're going to stick with that. There's Nuke Worker. Good morning, guys, on a very chilly day from Darlington Nuclear. How many days left? What, 9 or 8 days left? Thank you for thinking about me yesterday. There's Razor Sharp Picks in the houses. Let's get paid this weekend. This is one of the best weekends ever. Razor Sharp Picks, big horse racing show tonight, Friday night, and I will be on it. I'm going to be jumping on it as soon as the kids get down. And this is the first time where I've been able to have a couple wobblies, a couple adult beverages, and not have to work in the morning. So can't wait. I can't wait. So Razor Sharp Picks horse racing show I will be on this evening. There's Cab, Osby, Jay Peasy in the house, Nut Flush, Allen. Israel says, I hope to be on the same side as Durrell. 12 straight. 12. Can you believe that? 12 straight spread bets he's cashed. Ryan Kozlowski says, being a grind for me this week, 4-1 plus plenty of units. Boy, there it is right there. All right, you guys, it's time to get to work. We have a lot to do here. I wish I could say what up to all of you guys. No, I am feeling that. There's Brothers and Bets. He's going to roll with us in San Antonio. We have a ton of Texas cappers that roll with us, and anybody in the Texas area, we're going to do it right. We're going to do it nice. There's Tone. Nice. Sadiq Bey assists over 2.5 at plus 130. There we go. And Slatsy beat the line move with the Stars. I hesitated to bet the Stars just because they're coming off a 4-0 trip. But I think there's some legitimacy to their victories. And I did hesitate, though. I'm much more confident on the over, even though the Capitals aren't scoring. But if you want to score, play against the Stars. But the Stars are going to be more dangerous with Klingberg and Faxa back. We're going to go over all that. There's Puzzler, C. James, Juan Ruiz. What a great group. Okay, Ziggy Balls. Haven't seen Ziggy Balls in too long. Tyrone Coleman, Jason Turgi, Gerardo Hernandez, Danny Lopez, Paco Healy. Paco Healy gave me this hat. This was a gift from San Diego's own Paco Healy. If anybody wants your teams represented on the show, just come to San Antonio. Hook me up. Deacon says you're not wearing black today. You forgot to do laundry. God, I love you guys. Birdie, ready to go. Okay, let's do that. CT Bays, you got to be coming to San Antonio, man. We've been capping together now for too long for us not to. All right. Dennis Garcia, Clint Star, the Die Hard MMA podcast, YouTube, everything. So many great cappers. Top shelf plays. Let's get to work. Let's get to work right now. Thank you guys all for joining us. And we have a very hot NHL capper, a man rolling, a man who will be boarding the same flight as me. So he should probably crash at my spot the night before Gogster. Hopefully it won't be here in Parkdale. We're looking at houses, trying to get out. But you probably wanted to see the horrific pigeon fuck party that takes place on my balcony night in and night out. I imagine
that. I want to see it.
Okay. Let's go over Mr. Gogster's record on the show. We have 3 special guests on the show, and they are running extremely hot, all of them. If you put their official picks together here on the show, they are up 21 3/4 units. 21 3/4 units, and Mr. Gogster 33 24, 57.9% plus 7.04 units, ROI plus 12.35%, average line minus 105. The pride of Belleville, Ontario, soon will be making his Texas debut. Please welcome to the show, Mr. Gogster in the house.
What's going on, Jimmy? Great intro. I appreciate the intro. What's going on, guys? Paco, everybody else. Shout out to Ziggy Balls there.
Yeah.
Ziggy's an OG. I'm telling you, since I started doing this in like 2000, I want to say 15, back in the day, Ziggy was around. So shout out to Ziggy. Shout out to everybody else there. And yeah, we're locked in for Tejas, guys. You guys better get on it. You know, the tickets they're cheap right now. They're freaking cheap. So hope to see you there.
Let's get right to Ramos. No, he's not. He's not a losing capper at all. He's rolling. Kyle Hintley, and thank you so much for the dono, my man. It means so much to us. Means so much to us. I hope you can come down to San Antonio with us. We're gonna do it up in a big way. Nasty Nate, top set. Let's get to work right now. NHL, Mr. Gogster. We start at 7 p.m. Eastern. Detroit Red Wings 18-19 and 6, 5-12 and 3 on the road. At Pittsburgh Penguins 27-10 and 6, 13-5 and 3 at home. PPG Paints Arena, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Look, you know I don't believe in Nedeljkovic. He's a tin man. And I say that. because Rod Brindamore, nobody's ever questioned his heart.
Yeah.
Not one person has ever said, look at that number 17 out there. He just doesn't have it right here. No one's ever said that. He knocked out Eric Lindros in the dressing room because Eric Lindros banged one of his line mates. It was between him and Lindros to stay on the Flyers, and they picked Eric Lindros.
Oh, Lenny.
And what's happened to the Flyers since then? Well, I'll tell you, they sip sperm. And Carolina has a Stanley Cup and could have more because of Rod Brindamore. That was a mistake, taking Lindros over Rod Brindamore. Hope you know that, Bobby Clark. That was a huge mistake. Hart. Always had a problem judging Hart, and he played with so much of it. So, Red Wings, Pittsburgh, Nedeljkovic was pulled last game. Save percentage down to .912. Mr. Gogster, he will not be a starting goaltender in 5 years. I'm going to win that bet from you.
This is a rough patch. Let's settle down a bit, Jim. A little rough patch.
This is what I believe. Casey DeSmith on the other side, 3.31, 3.58 goals against average, 886 save percentage. Yes, we have two bad goalies between the pipes, and I still realized that the under 6.5 was the play because I think Pittsburgh's going to be an under team, and Detroit has to play differently than they did in that 8-5 loss. And I knew it. But I still kept capping. That was the problem. And then when I went to bet it, it had moved to 6. So that was gone and have to be dealt with. There's good in the house. What's happening, my man? Detroit power play 15.2%, penalty killing 77.7%, Pitt power play 19.4%, penalty killing 88.6%. Red Wings coming off their third straight loss, 8-5 at home to the Blackhawks on Wednesday. They've allowed 17 goals in their last 3 games. They have to play a different style of hockey or they're going to keep losing. And maybe Gustav Lindstrom with this undisclosed injury is a part of their defensive accountability that's been missing. Penguins on the second half of a back-to-back after their 8-game winning streak snapped last night in a 2-1 overtime loss for Seattle, just Seattle's 5th road win of the year. Seattle outshot them 29-24. Seattle outplayed them. Teddy Bluger, center, who is responsible and good and can score. Left wingers Jason Zucker and Drew O'Connor out with injuries. Take it away here, Mr. Gogster. Red Wings, Penguins.
Gee, you crushed that breakdown, Jimmy. I tell you, spot on breakdown and all that.
Thank you.
So another thing I'll add here, guys, is home and road stats. Detroit, 5-12-3. They're 46. Haven't had much sleep, guys. Can't lie. 46 goals for, 79 goals against, Jimmy. 46 for, 79 against. They are just an awful road team. And a big problem is the start of their games. They only have 8 goals for, guys, on the road, 22 allowed in the first. So they're minus 12 in the first period. So they get off to a really bad start on the road. I like Jimmy's under there, his original look. I don't see Detroit scoring much against Pittsburgh here. Team total under 2.5. If it's not juiced too much, I'd lean towards that for Detroit. I don't have a strong play on this with Casey DeSmith in net. He's for the most part an AHL goalie. He's what do I have here? 2-2 at home with a .894, 3.32 goals against. One big trend you want to look at too is Pittsburgh in the first period, 22 goals for at home, 9 against in the first period at home, Jimmy. Only 9 goals against at home since the start of the season. So Pittsburgh's really a good, they're strong home team, and Detroit can't score. So I would be leaning towards the under. Detroit team total under here. And maybe even put Pittsburgh in a parlay piece. But with Casey DeSmith, you just never know. But coming off that loss from Pittsburgh, you got to expect them to have a much better performance here. And Ned's not looking good either. He's in a bit of a rough patch with Grice on the IR there. He's on COVID. Excuse me. This is going to be the 8th start for Ned. This is probably the most amount of games he's ever had to start in his career. So it's not a good thing for the guy. It's a tough spot for Detroit. I'd lean towards Detroit team total under.
I get that look. I'm surprised there hasn't been a big market move towards the Penguins. I'm surprised there's not a feeling like there's been no move. I'm going to use the Action Network because our site that we've used for the last few years has been absolute trash. Action Network has this total opening up at 6.5, and there's still 6.5. If I could get a 6.5 at -20, like it's being hung at BetMGM, -124 FanDuel, I would bet that. I would bet that right now. That's not available for me anymore. From a money line perspective, there's been no movement. Open up at -250. At a couple of these sports books, it's down to 245. Actually, we've seen a little bit of movement.
239 at Pinnacle right now, Jim.
Wow.
Yeah, and the under 6.5 is 135.
Birdie bet the exact score to be 2-1 after the first period. Says believe this is the best value play in the game. Remember yesterday he took the
Birdie's
Kraken
and
Penguins to be tied after the first period, and he took care of that as well.
It's Detroit, they got to be pissed off, or at least they're allowing 8 goals from Chicago too. That's pretty bad for a team. You always think whenever a team comes off an 8-goal, like look at what happened with Columbus. They came back and had a good performance against the Rangers. They still allowed some goals, but most of the times teams don't, allow 8 goals, 7-8 goals back to back or 6 goals the next game. So I would expect Detroit to have a better performance, but they just don't have the personnel, I think, to match up against a veteran-laden Pittsburgh team. Detroit's got a good young squad. Don't get me wrong; they're a good young team, but I don't like them in this spot, especially with Ned. 8 starting in a row for Ned. No.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't hate on the Penguins -1.5 on the puck line, but you have an angry Red Wings team as well. Just nothing very interesting.
I would lean towards the Pittsburgh puck line, Detroit team total under. But I'm not going to play it. I'm not going to play it.
Yeah. All right, let's roll on. Nice having Tom Miggins rolling with us. Great group here. Let's keep rolling. We are going NBA, NCAA basketball, NHL, NCAA basketball, then NBA. All right, let's go. 8 p.m. Eastern. This is the next up spot that a bunch of cappers are staring at, and Kyle Hintley really pumped about this spot for the New York Rangers as King Henrik Lundqvist's jersey is being retired. Minnesota Wild 25-10-3, 11-7-2 on the road at New York Rangers 28-12-4, 13-3-2 at home Madison Square Garden. In New York, Talbot 16-8-1, 2.96 goals against average, 910 save percentage. If he can get hot like he did last year, this would really help this team. This team is a very dangerous hockey team, and it's all kind of lining up for them to play. The way I see it, for them to play the Avalanche, to get into the conference final. That's going to be one hell of a series. Shesty on the other side, 24-2, 2.07 goals against average, 937 save percentage, 3 shots. You've been high on Shesty for so long.
I'm telling you about this guy, yeah.
He's a monster, absolute monster. Minnesota 17.7% power play, 80% penalty killing. Rangers 24.8% power play, 83.6% penalty killing. Let's see what the Action Network gives us here for this spot. They have a big move towards the Minnesota Wild. Minnesota Wild opening up at -118 here, and there's a -125 at BetMGM, but points bet up to -140. We go over to the total here, opened up at 6.5 and has dropped to 6. Now, we all remember the Willie O'Ree jersey retirement and Willie O'Ree night. The Bruins got destroyed.
Yeah.
Now, that's a different situation than King Henrik, obviously, but that's just kind of fresh in my memory. And this Wild, they're a well-rested group. They come in off their 3rd straight victory, 8-2 at home over Montreal on Monday. So you have such depth on this team, so much talent, so much size. I love this defensive core with Goligoski, Dumba, Brodin, and Spurgeon. You have Kaprizov with 49 points in 37 games played. He's a +19. That's the biggest contract. I mean, Hughes kind of a similar one, but the biggest contract given to a player with the least amount of games under his belt. And Kaprizov is proving that Bill Guerin was right to give it to him. Zuccarello, who I have in the hockey pool, I'm now on top of my hockey pool, which is what I expect. I mean, it's not a lot of money, but it's more like bragging rights with all the guys I grew up with. And I beat them year after year, and it puts a big smile on my face. 12 goals, 26 assists, 38 points in 32 games, +20. Ryan Hartman, another mistake from the Blackhawks brass. We can go over and over and over how shitty they've been. 18 goals, 14 assists, 32 points. He's a +31. A +31 is Ryan Hartman, 31 in 32 games played. I know a lot of people think that's an antiquated system, but
I love plus-minus. You kidding me?
I have no problem with it, and I know I might be a little bit old school, but I do think it's still important. Marcus Foligno is such a beast. He's such a hell of a player. Just another sign of this Minnesota Wild team's depth. You have depth and size. Like, look, Foligno, Eriksson, Ek, and Greenway. Nobody wants to play against that line. You're going to get beaten up and pushed around by that line. Foligno, 17 goals, 10 assists, 27 points in 38 games. He's a +21. They have had some depth issues. So Brodin, whom I mentioned is one of the 4 defenders, he's been out since early January. So is Nick Bjugstad, who never became the player I thought he was capable of when he started out in Florida. 6'6", but a twig. Nico Sturm and John Merrill are on the COVID list. They were added to the COVID list Tuesday. That could be a problem, but because now 72 hours have gone by, we know that no one else has been added into the COVID list. Rangers on the second half of a back-to-back after having their 2-game winning streak snapped in a 5-3 loss to Columbus last night. They came out strong, had a 2-goal lead 5 minutes in. They won 36 of 60 faceoffs. They 36-24 face. They outshoot them 36-19, and they lose. Dennis Garcia says New York Rangers is the easiest play to make on the board. I don't find that. There's Robert Cherry in the house. Trooper Ayash Allah ready to roll with us. I get it, Dennis, and the fact that you think it's that easy, it makes it more appealing, but I don't find this the easiest bet on the board. Take it away here, Mr. Gogster, Wild Rangers.
Yeah, this is a tough one. It's probably going to be one of the better games you're going to see in a while here, guys. Minnesota, New York, one of the two best teams in each conference, West and the East. I'm leaning towards a draw, the old draw at plus 319. Can you hear any background noise here, Jim? There's a bunch of commotion. Are we good?
Yeah, you guys are good.
Okay, we're good. Okay, we're money.
Yeah.
Times, man. Sometimes they get a little rowdy when the worst times. But anyway, sorry, guys. Minnesota, New York Rangers here, Kakkonen into Shesterkin. The last 2 times these guys have played, they've gone to overtime as well. It's just these 2 teams are going to be neck and neck. One big thing for the Rangers, guys, Adam Fox went out last game. Someone got up against the boards there, and I saw him limp off, checked his minutes, 15 minutes played last game. So not as usual. Usually it gets up there a little bit more. But if Fox isn't going, that's going to hurt this team big time, especially on a back-to-back. Their D, in my opinion, is not as deep as Minnesota. Still a great team. Both these teams are honestly, I think they're neck and neck. That's why the line is what it is. It's a tough one here, guys. I'd lean towards the draw. I'd have to. Oh yeah, 5 coats for no doubt about it. Like you know what it is right now, Deacon? It's minus 30. It's like I got the ice above me, probably because it's freezing like in here.
No, that's not. That's Jose being a dick because of my NHL record. So yeah,
okay. Yeah. I see now.
But
no Brodin, no Merrill too. There's some question marks for Minnesota with the Rangers too on the defensive end. This isn't a game I love here, guys, at all. It's a tough card in my opinion today. Yeah, the last 2 games have been New York Ranger overtime wins. Before this, the last 3 were Minnesota wins. So it's a tough call. I think Kaprizov is one of the best players in the league too, but you're going to have on the other side Panarin, Zuccarello, Kreider and company. It's going to be a really good game. I'm going to lean towards a draw. It's not going to be an official play, but I would lean towards the draw in this one.
It's wild. We've had, at least a 10-cent, 15-cent move at these books towards the Minnesota Wild, and Dennis Garcia saying this is the easiest game on the board, and it may well be, but that's fascinating that, Dennis would have the confidence to go up against this market move, saying it's the best bet on the board. Very excited. And we don't call it Deacons, Deacon Mike. They're Tukes.
Tukes. Yes, it's a Tuke. All right. Don't get it confused. It's also Talbot. I saw that Talbot was confirmed, so he's coming off COVID too. So that's another bit of a question mark. I believe it was COVID. He was on the injured IR report. So it's a tough call. I give advantage to Shesterkin and net. Offense, on a back-to-back, you have to look towards Minnesota, in my opinion, to have probably the deeper offense here, just stronger legs, especially on a back-to-back. I lean towards Minnesota, but not a play I like. I know a lot of guys in the chat here. Actually, it's back and forth. I see Rudy here saying fade Rangers. So it's a tough game. Going to be a good game. If you can get the team that's up 2-0, say Minnesota or the Rangers go up 2-0, I'd take the other team at like a plus 1.5 in my back pocket. I would like that.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. Let's keep rolling here. I'm staying off of this spot, and
I think so too, Kyle. They're definitely pissed, but you're not going up against like a bottom feeder here. You're going up against a top tier team in Minnesota, so it's going to be a good game.
Dennis Garcia says teams with more points than the Rangers: Tampa Bay, Florida, Colorado. No other elite team would be this big of a home dog to Minnesota. None. I agree. I agree to that, but I think maybe the market is overusing the second half of a back-to-back. Columbus to New York against a very rested Minnesota team that's been just sitting there waiting for them. But I get it. I absolutely get it. All right, let's keep rolling. Next up, we have 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Colorado Avalanche 38-3, 11-6-2 on the road at Chicago Blackhawks 16-20-7, 8-8-3 at home. We're at the United Center in Chicago, Illinois. Darcy Kemper going up against Marc-Andre Fleury. Kemper 25-1, 2.64 goals against average, 913 save percentage, 1 shutout. I thought that Francouz may be between the pipes here, but it says Kemper as far as I see anywhere. Marc-Andre Fleury, 14-13-3, 2.84 goals against average, 911 save percentage, 3 shutouts. He really hasn't been good enough for a team to give any kind of prospects really for him. But I still expect him to move somewhere at the deadline. Now Dallas has got to be interested.
Sorry, who is that, Jimmy? Sorry,
Marc-Andre Fleury.
Yeah, Fleury.
It's been okay.
I don't know. It's if Edmonton wants Evander Kane, then you should be taking Fleury.
Colorado 24.8% power play, 75% penalty killing. Chicago 19.9% power play, 75.4% penalty killing. So we've had a big move, and it made a ton of sense towards the Blackhawks.
Yeah,
and I get it. I completely get it. I was surprised.
Ooh.
First off, I thought that we'd be getting a nice opportunity, maybe a plus 200 or something, which was a mistake. It was plus 160 when I looked last. Now it's plus 165. I'm certain that money is going to come in on Colorado all day, and we'll get a better opportunity to bet the Blackhawks. And I will bet them if that comes, if that arises. The Avs coming off a wild 4-3 overtime win that saw Nate McKinnon knocked out of the game by Taylor Hall 2 minutes in. McKinnon has a broken nose. He wasn't expected to travel with the team. He's not expected to be in the lineup. Mm-hmm. Blackhawks snapped a 4-game losing streak with an 8-5 win at Detroit on Wednesday. Kubalik opened the scoring. Dylan Strome had a hat trick. That's his 5th, 6th, 7th goals of the year. We know that all the pressure's on Kane to do anything here and to bring Cat. So if these guys score and take some pressure off of Kane and to bring Cat, this team rolls. I watched the Avs Bruins game, and I watched the Avs completely take over in the third period. And I don't know if that's something that they will be able to do without McKinnon on the road. Now, they've proved that they're still a good hockey team with the spectacular defense, even without McKinnon. But you
got to think their crowded. The home crowd definitely played a factor too. Like that team at home is like Florida guys. They're one of the best teams at home. So yeah, it's going to be a different situation here. Chicago's 8 goals. I know it was against Detroit, but a hat trick from Strome. Jimmy said. They're a hot team. They're on the year they've been up and down, but right now, in my opinion, you'd be not wanting to ride them, but the line definitely indicates that Chicago. I was thinking to get this first period, Jimmy. That's where I was looking. Just the way Chicago's playing, I was just going to say jump all over them. They're feeling good about themselves. Colorado too, coming off that win, they've won 8 in a row now, guys. I believe I have 8 in a row here. Yeah, they've won 8 in a row, so it's not like Colorado's chomping at the bit to win this game. And Chicago, they not like they're really going to the playoffs, but they're playing hockey right now. They coming off 8 goals. I know you could say it could be a letdown, but a shitty team like Chicago to do that, I like that sign. And a good team like Colorado, they know they got to jump all over them early. Only plus 139 I saw for Chicago. I have a pretty strong lean towards that first period Chicago. Or even Chicago to score a goal. Kemper, they actually played 2 on Monday, guys. 2-0 Colorado. And Francouz was in net. So this is going to be Kemper. If it is Kemper too, I think that's a stronger play on Chicago. Yeah.
And we're on the other side here of Birdie. Birdie says, why is this line minus 195? Remember the first game of the year was minus 260. I get Colorado missing a big player, but he's not worth 65 points. Huge value on Avs here. Parlay their money line with the Rangers money line. Deacon Mike looking at the over.
I could still see them doing like what they've done against. They could do that against Boston, guys. Boston's one of the best defensive teams in the freaking league. And they did that against Boston, so they could still be down against Chicago and come back. Rantanen, Burakovsky, Landeskog, they're still deep. So...
And Birdie says, to be clear, I give Blackhawks 0 home ice edge right now versus anyone, which is something that's important to look at. And they've won, 8 of 19 games at home. So it's a really good point from Birdie. I'm not moving here. I need a much bigger price for the Blackhawks, and I think we'll get one.
And I agree with that. Yeah, as you say, I don't see the public coming in on Chicago. I see more Colorado. As Birdie said, the line's pretty low too.
When it was 1-0 Colorado, I took the Bruins live at plus 310. And I didn't cash out when I should have and could have, and I didn't hedge either, and whatever. But it was the defense. The Colorado Avalanche defense is absolutely incredible. Devon Taves, Makar, Gerard, those three guys, one of them's on the ice at all times. They're so talented.
Makar is the best defensive player I've seen in a long time. Like, you guys want to watch a team, like, watch Cale Makar. Oh my God. Offense, like, I haven't seen much of a defensive accountability. You always see him just an OT, guys. He's had several OT winners. Like, just snipes. Like, and just like he can outskate half of these forwards too as a defenseman. Cale Makar, guys, is unbelievable.
Well, let's keep rolling because we have 2 games left, and we are going to move on to college basketball at 11:40 Eastern, 8:40 Pacific. Next up, we have Washington Capitals, Dallas Stars, and I've moved on this game. We also have the Ron Crawford spreadsheet play of the day on the Dallas Stars. Shout out to Ron Crawford. Rudy Zemansky says Darnell Nurse over Cale Makar. I would love
different player. I think they're different players,
and I love Darnell Nurse. I absolutely love Darnell Nurse, but I disagree on that. I love Darnell Nurse. He's one of my favorite defensemen in the NHL.
Defensive defenseman too. Like, he's a big guy back there. I want him. Cale Makar and him on the back end. That's our top 2.
Or just guys. If you had Makar in the Oiler uniform, they would.
Oh God! Get Barry out of there. Tyson
would do.
Tyson Barry.
Capitals, Dallas Stars. I moved on the Stars. I was a little late to the party. I was hesitant. I got in at minus 110. If I bet them right now, it would be minus 125. Okay, so that's good. 15-cent move over at Bet 365. I also took the over 5.5 at minus 120. I'm most confident on that. That hasn't moved 1 cent. And I know you're thinking the Capitals scored 4 goals in the last 3 games. How could you be confident? You want to score. You want your offense to get on track. I do believe that the Dallas Stars are the right team to play against. Now, we didn't see that in the last 2 games. They've only allowed 2 goals in the last 2 games on the road. But I still think that they're vulnerable with Holtby or Ottinger or whoever is in net. Yeah. And it says that Samsonov will be between the pipes, 13-5-3, 2.79 goals against average, 903 save percentage, 3 shots. He's not been good this year. The Stars 14-4-1 at home. Birdie and I have been high on the Stars all year, and this road trip is nothing to get too excited about. I mean, they beat Buffalo, Detroit, Philadelphia, and New Jersey. I mean, no one's confusing that competition with the Russian Red Army of the 80s, but it was important that they went out on the road and won those hockey games. They finished off with that annihilation of the Devils 5-1 on Tuesday night, saw them up 4-0, 20 minutes, 15 seconds into the game. Radulov is back, and now they have 3 lines rolling. That line of Robertson, Pavelski, and Rupi Hintz is
unbelievable.
It's a top 3 line. It's certainly a top 5 line in the NHL. I love the way they work. And then you have Ben and Seguin to jerk each other off on the second line. And then on the third line, now you have Radulov on it. And so they're also getting Klingberg and Faxa back. They're both coming back. They both missed the road trip. I think this team's ready to go. No, Oshie is not back for Washington. Brady says best bet on the card today, tied after regulation and Caps Stars game. 5 times last 10 have gone into OT. Caps are playing close games lately, plus 300, too good to pass up. So it should be plus 200. There's Res Mob in the house. So this Capitals team has no depth. They're starting to look a lot like these Edmonton Oilers. TJ Oshie and Nick Jensen remain out with upper body injuries. Why don't you take away, talk about this spot here, and then I'll just quickly talk about this depth of the Capitals, then we'll move on to the final game.
Absolutely. Who was that? Birdie. Yeah, absolutely. Birdie. We both sniped that together, my man. I'm on the the draw. I'm going to take a little draw here. I'm going to do a half unit, one of the rare half units, plus 319 actually at Pinnacle. Just Washington guys, they're too good of a team to only score 4 goals. What was it in the last 4 games, Jimmy? Dallas too. I like your overplay as well, guys. I see a hard time seeing this Dallas and Washington team staying to an under. Dallas, the only thing is they're coming off a 4-0 road trip. Jimmy said it. I'm not high on teams. They are a good team. Don't get me wrong. They're 14-4 at home. But then you got Washington 11-5-4 on the road. So this is just like Minnesota, New York Rangers. This is going to be a good game. I'm kind of on the other side too here, guys. I'm leaning towards. I'm not leaning actually. I bet this one on overnight. Washington first period, Jimmy. I actually got, I thought this line, I probably should have waited. I got minus 101. I tweeted that out. In my opinion, guys, Washington's they're going to come out strong. I don't have as much stats you could say to back this up because one thing, 8 of the last 9 at Dallas has won those games. So 8 of the last 9, let me say this again, at home, when Dallas is at home, they've won 8 of those last 9. So Dallas definitely has their number. But with that being said, I think Washington, Dallas coming off that 4-game road trip, Washington being pissed off, losing their last couple games. Give me Washington here in a strong, not so much bounce back, but just a game they know. This is a good team. Washington's a veteran-laden team as well. They're deep. Only injuries they have is Oshie. Jensen's a bit of an issue, in my opinion. You know, could use Jensen there on the back end, but yeah, give me Washington here first period and then the draw, just based on a bit of trends there. Birdie said it there. 5 of the last 10 have gone to OT. So
Turnsy's on Caps money line. Ovechkin anytime goal.
Let's go, Turnsy.
They got Ovechkin, Kuznetsov, Wilson. We know how talented that first line is. Then you have Sheary and Sprong on the second line. You have Sheary and Sprong as top 6 forwards. You have Hathaway, Prodas, and Eller on the third line. This is just a team with no depth that's become similar to the.
But look at that fourth line, though. Hagelin, Dowd, and Leeson there. I don't mind Dowd and Hagelin. Protest there. I haven't seen him too much in the lineup. Eller, Hathaway, Sheary, and Sprong. I don't mind them, Jim. With
top 6 forwards, and Hagelin is not being.
I know.
Hagelin's not being the player we thought he would turn into, but I hear you. Birdie says Gogs caution fading stars at home. I would lean more to a tie after the first. I may also bet the tie after the first. Both veteran teams and can play close games. Let's get this last game in, Mr. Gogster, and you have a ton of action on it. I do not. Boston Bruins 24-13-3, 10-5-2 on the road at Arizona Coyotes 10-27-4, 5-13-1 at home. God, does this team need Krejci back? They just don't have secondary scoring. They need Nick Foligno on that second line. He's hurt right now. Charlie Coyle is just not enough. They have this one incredible line and just nothing else. Linus Ullmark and Scott Wedgwood are here right now. We'll see if they end up in goal. Ullmark 14-5-1, 2.61 goals against average, 914 save percentage. Wedgwood 4-10-3, 3.37 goals against average, 893 save percentage. Boston power play 25.6, penalty killing at 82.4. Arizona power play at 12.7. Real deal prime asking if Tuukka Rask is in. I thought that would be the spot to play him against Arizona, but he's just not listed at this point. Birdie's on the Coyotes +1. Bruins coming off their second straight loss, 4-3 in overtime in Colorado on Wednesday night, and they got completely dominated in that third period. John Moore has been out since the beginning of January, and now Matt Grizzlechick joined him with an upper body injury January 23rd. Grizzle. I always mess up his last name. Maybe that's another issue with this team, that they don't have enough depth on defense after McAvoy. Coyotes coming off their third straight loss, 6-3 at Pittsburgh on Tuesday night. Galchenyuk, no goals, 5 assists in 21 games. Now, Nick Schmaltz looks like he's getting back on track, and that's going to help this team a lot to get him going. 4 points in his last 2 games, 7 in his last 5. He's 4 goals, 10 assists, 14 points in 22 games this year. That's not enough. This game doesn't really interest me here at this point, but I'd love to hear your action.
Yeah, guys, in this game, Bruins coming off that loss. For me, it's that loss against Colorado, Jim. That's not sitting well with those guys. You can't tell me, especially their coach. You've seen it from Boston before. They're honestly, guys, one of the best defensive teams going up against Arizona here, who, in my opinion, have been playing good hockey, decent hockey. You're going to have Scott Wedgwood in net, who is not one of the stronger goalies here in the league. What else do I have here? Similar to Detroit, 46 goals for, 79 against at home, 9% power play, 64% penalty kill. My God, there's a problem there. Pasternak, Marchand, Bergeron, power play, any of those guys getting a point, I would lean towards that on a power play if you guys can get that prop. But in my opinion, guys, Boston here, it could be Rask, Jimmy. I'm seeing a couple spots with Rask. You said it too. If there's a spot to play him, it's got to be against Arizona. It's nothing against our guy, their Clint's Coyotes, but it's the front end of a back-to-back too for Arizona. So whenever I see a front end of a back-to-back, we've seen it from a couple teams. They don't take it lightly by any means, but teams definitely don't expend too much energy. They kind of it's kind of like a long horse race, Jimmy, I like to say. But anyways, I won't game. I got some action here. It's going to be Boston on the puck line. I got that at -123. The line went to -106. With that being said, I still think Boston, they're just too good of a team to lose to Arizona or even to be close. One other thing, this is the big stat I think you guys are going to like. 16 of the last 16 Boston have won against Arizona. So they've had their number. And you're telling me they're going to lose here after against that 4-3 loss against Colorado? I have a hard time seeing that. That's unbelievable. Like 16 of the last 16 Boston have beat Arizona. So yeah, front end of the back-to-back. I'm also taking Arizona guys team total under in the first period. That's minus 115. I got it at. It's actually minus 104 at Friendly Pinnacle. Just don't see Boston coming out flat here in the first. Going to have a great first period, in my opinion. I'm also taking them to be up in the first period at minus 0.5. You can get that at now plus 113. I got it at plus 106. So that's going to be my action for this game, guys. This is the money game, in my opinion. And I think the Bruins, it's a great spot for the Bruins here. Look for them. I'm going to say final score, Jim. I'll say 4-1, 4-2 at max.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you're off. Arizona was playing good hockey, the best hockey of the year. They won their first game of the road trip. Then they lost 3 in a row. And in those games, they were playing good for about 35 minutes, and then the wheels fell off. I'm not sure what to do with the Coyotes. I would like to back them. Too bad the Bruins are coming off with such a bad taste in their mouth.
That's the thing. It's like, remember when they beat Toronto, or when it was, when they beat Toronto there 2-1. Vince Milk had an unbelievable game, but Toronto had been winning. They've been winning on that West Coast trip, feeling good about themselves. This is the opposite spot. You got Boston coming off that loss, and not to mention they lost 5-3 guys against the Ducks a couple nights before that. So look for Boston to clamp down on defense, and look for a Boston win here, Jimmy.
Mr. Gogster has been excellent on this show with his official picks. He's on Boston puck line minus 123, Boston first period minus a half at plus 106, Arizona first period team total under a half at minus 115, Washington first period money line plus 101, and Washington Dallas 3-way draw at plus 314. And Birdie's also on that draw. So fascinating look there. I only have 2 looks on this board. I bet him last night. I tweeted him out last night. It's one game. I'm on the Stars, and I'm on the over 5.5 in that game. And I got to get back to winning ways, and I just got to focus and attack, and that's what I'm doing here. Mr. Gogster has booked his flight to San Antonio on the same flight as me, baby. It's going to be wild.
Yeah. I don't know. I just you type it in there, guys, and you never know what can happen. But anyway, I can't wait to get to San Antonio. It's minus 30 here. I wish we could go right now. But everyone in the chat, thank you so much. Shout out to Kyle here, Warren, Mikey, Ick, North Ender, Real Deal, Jay Peasy, Birdie, Slats, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in as always, guys. Jimmy the Bag, you're the man. I look forward to like I said, seeing you soon, and take care, guys. Get that cash, leche.
There he is, Mr. Gogster. Great work. Follow him on Twitter. I've got his Twitter handle right here. Let me get this here. Shit. Come on. Okay. At EGO under 47 _47. What the hell is this? Let me see if I can. Okay, I can't. What the hell's wrong with my computer? Let me just try this here. Here we go. Okay, it is time to move on to college basketball. Get your college basketball picks in. Yet another winning night for Maxwell Smart. There's, when you deal with a volume gambler like Maxwell Smart, it's important to see how is he succeeding. Because a lot of people don't believe you can succeed volume betting. He's 84-75 on the show, 52.8% plus 7.45 units. ROI plus 4.69%. Average line plus 100. That's the key. Keeps his VIG down. Always looking to keep his VIG down. Yesterday was the perfect example. He went for a big score on Florida International minus 5.5. And with about 6 minutes left, I thought he was going to get it. He didn't get it. He went with an alternative line there. He felt he had an angle, went with an alternative line plus 155. Then he has a plus 212 money line on Long Beach, and he feels he has an advantage. He goes for the big score. He doesn't take the point, and he loses to Wisconsin and Nebraska over. So he goes 1-2, and he's plus 0.12 units. That's how it's done. Max is giving us a lesson on volume betting and how to continually succeed, and he's doing it on the show, and we love him very much. Please welcome to the show the Cupcake King, Maxwell Smart, in the house. Max, what's happening?
What's going on, Jim? Nice to be here with you, and of course, your gear is just looking good. I like you in that San Diego stuff. It makes me think of my favorite San Diego guy right now. His name is Sharpie. He fucks women of all sizes, and he does not discriminate, and I bless him as a fucking mentor for that. I also call him my son, but I'm the kind of father that doesn't pay child support. So, Sharpie, don't be asking me for any money.
I love it. I love the whole entire breakdown there, Maxwell Smart. I love it. You're running well here. I love it. Let's get right to work and attack this board. Yesterday was tricky, as a lot of you have noticed the problems we've been having with SBR. So we're going to move over to Action Network for these market moves. Let's get right to work here. We have games coming in from our cappers right now. Let's go. First off, we have Michael Ervalina looking at the Maction, Ohio Buffalo. Let me move over to the spread here. Ohio Buffalo Max. And I know you love Maction yourself. We got lots of nice games there. Akron and Toledo also going off tonight. There's a lot of interest in Cleveland State, Wright State. But let me get this up here. Ohio Buffalo. So there's little movement here. Buffalo, opening up as 3-point favorites. MGM has moved it to 3.5. And from a total perspective, opening up at 149.5 and now 150.5, Max. Take it away. This is rotation number 889, 890, and I'll help with that. And I apologize if I'm doing that yesterday. Ohio Buffalo.
Yeah, listen, I think that we've seen this line obviously go up a full point now, and I do think it is the right move. Ohio does bring in the better defense, but with such a heavy ball screen offense, it's really going to be a make or break situation for Mark Cedars if he's going to be able to lead Ohio to this road win. They have been able to do a good job of it. I think that when you do have versatile big men like you do in Ohio, the key for them is not to get killed on both sides of the glass and be able to bring out Josh Mbala and Brock Bertram and company, and the stable of front court players that this Ohio team possesses to open up lanes for guys to get to the rim. I think that with Ohio, we have seen them be able to really step on it in the second half, but we've also seen the defense really take a step backwards. I think that the key for Ohio is to get off to a good start. By my numbers, they have a 3-point advantage in the first half. So seeing this line the way it is definitely gives me a lot of good feelings about taking Ohio +3, but I want to go for a big score. I think that this is a game that if we're going to get the underdog to win, it's not going to be a 1-point win. And I have to go towards that -2.5 at +165. I think that Ohio wins the game, and I think Ohio can win the game by 3 or more. So let's play it for what it is. Let's watch those game logs, know what we can expect. And if we get a good 37 to 40-point performance from Ohio in the first half, I think that we're going to be on our way to potentially covering this number. So I want Ohio -2.5 +165, Jim.
I love it. -2.5 +165. Max going for the big score here. What book is that -2.5 +165?
Bet 365.
All right, and that goes right with our guy, Piker, Seamus Ignoramus. He says we're all over Ohio +3 today. We're going to take advantage of that leaky Buffalo defense. We know Ohio wins away without any red flags. I expect an outright win by the surging Bobcats. He says anything Buffalo does well on the glass will be offset by their average of 13 turnovers a game. They're sloppy, like a BBW in the sun. There you go.
That is well said. That brings almost a tear to my eye. And if this game goes the way that we are expecting, Seamus, there will be cupcakes, there will be ladies of the night, and there will be no trips underneath the bridge in goddamn freezing temperatures with an electric hand warmer.
Oh, that's fucking hideous. This total opened up with, the next game here, we're going to stick to a team. Well, all of these teams you know inside now, but you've been very good with Air Force. You cashed a nice big plus line, money line spot with them just a couple days back. And Air Force Wyoming is next up. Rotation number 875, 876. This total opened up at 127.5. There's 127s and 126s and 126.5s out there. Let's move over to the spread and see what we are dealing with in this spot. We have it opening up with Wyoming as 7.5-point favorites. There's still a bunch of 7.5s out there. There are some 7s as well. Again, these are Action Network's openers. So I'm not sure exactly how, well, it is what it is. Take it away, Max, here, Wyoming Air Force.
Yeah, listen, I've talked about Air Force. I definitely am very impressed with Jake Heidbreder and Ethan Taylor. Once again, they came out with very nice, solid performances with both. I think they combined for 16 points, 7 assists, and like 12 rebounds. So you get that from young guys like that who can play without fouling in this Princeton-style offense. I definitely want to be looking towards this Air Force team. I think that with Wyoming, though, this is where it gets difficult. I think that the best chance to back this Air Force team is definitely to go with them full game. By my numbers, I have Wyoming having a 5-point advantage, so it's pretty much a no play right now. I would lean towards Air Force full game, but I'd have to get 8. I'm not going to take a 7 or 7.5.
I get it. Okay, great breakdown. Let's keep rolling. The next spot on our board was sent in by, well, it's Michael Evelina's last game that he wants talked about, but it also is our taint play of the day. And I'm talking about Boise State, Fresno State. Boise State, Fresno State. Let's move over to this spot. And it is the late game degenerate special this evening, 11 p.m. Eastern. And this time frame, Max, you've been very good with. You've been putting money in our pockets to end the night. This opened up with Fresno State at +1. We see 1.5s and 2s on the board. And then let me move over to the total. This total is opened up at 116 and is now at 118.5 or 119. The taint play today was sent to me this morning at 4:09 a.m. and it was the over 117. Maximilian, take it away. What do you think of taint? What do you think of a side here? Are you betting it?
Well, everybody already knows that I do speak in code sometimes, and when I love the taint play of the day, I describe it as Scarlett Johansson taint play of the day. Ooh. Scarlett Johansson taint. Scarlett Johansson taint. And I think that the taint play of the day is Scarlett Johansson taint. I love it. I think that this game can get a little out of hand offensively because we got a major injury situation. If Orlando Robinson, the heart and soul for this team, a legitimate 7-footer, 3-level scorer, a guy who will see his name on $1 million contract in the NBA, is questionable with an ankle injury, and he is just such a difference maker for this Fresno team. So that's my big worry right now. I think that if Fresno doesn't have them, they're going to have to change how they play on offense. And I think that that's going to bode well for the taint play of the day. I think that we're going to see Fresno have to elevate their pace a little. We've already seen a couple instances of them being able to do it for at least 20 minutes. I think that this is a spot where, Fresno, if they don't have their star big man, we're going to see an offensive team. From a personnel perspective, from Boise, we do have a possible absence of Marcus Shaver. I don't know if it's confirmed yet, but even if they don't have him, they've played a lot of basketball without him and won. This team is literally the hottest team in college basketball right now. They are surging. I think it's like a 13-game winning streak or some shit like that. And I am not going to go against this Boise team, even on the road. I think that Tyson Dagenhardt and Mladen Armis are a very good platoon at the 4 or the 5 spot, playing together or separately. And I think that they're going to be able to really take away a lot of Fresno's perimeter scoring, because when you look at that roster on Boise, there is a lot of size outside of Marcus Shaver and Max Rice. So I'm not going against Boise. I'm riding the train. And if Orlando Robinson is out, then I will freaking definitely go big on Boise to win this game by 5 or more.
I love it. We are rolling here. We have Maxwell, Smart Cupcake King. He's been on a heater on this show. Let's keep rolling. Next up is Ryan Kozlowski, who has also rolled with us since day one. Let me move this up. Here we go. Ryan Kozlowski looking at this IPFW Northern Kentucky spot. This total opened up at 136.5. It's now at 138.5. Rotation number 879, 880. Let's move back to the spread and see what we are dealing with here. 879, 880. Where the hell are you? God, this is just. There we go. This opened up with Northern Kentucky. The Mighty Norse, 3.5 point favorites. Now we see a 3.5 at BetMGM, a 2.5 at FanDuel, 3s at other spots. A market confused here, Max. Can you lead us in the right direction? IPFW, Northern Kentucky.
Yeah, Jim, just for conversation purposes, it is one of my pet peeves to refer to Purdue Fort Wayne as IPFW. We don't do that anymore. We call them Purdue Fort Wayne. So you're going to have to remember that. And I'll say this, Northern Kentucky seems to be hitting their stride at the right time. I do think that there is a potential situational letdown after beating Wright State on your home court and having Marquise Warwick have one of his most look-alike games compared to last year. So with this Norse team, they're finally healthy. They finally have all their weapons, and we're seeing a guy like Sam Vincent be able to fly under the radar and be able to contribute really essential points on a game-to-game basis. I think that when you go up against this Purdue Fort Wayne team with Jalon Pipkins and Jared Godfrey and, of course, Damian Chankui, a favorite of mine, this is a very assertive, experienced backcourt trio, and they can give you some problems. I think that with the Norse, they're going to have to play a little up-tempo. I think that with this total, I think that the move is correct. Even though we've seen these teams play at this number quite often this year, I do think that in a close game with the competent backcourt on the other side, the Norse are going to have to show up and put up. And with their offensive rebounding advantage and their overall advantage on the glass, I think that that's what's going to happen. I think that it's a short number with the Norse, and I think that they're going to be able to avoid the situational letdown. And for Ryan, I like the over, even though the numbers moved up. I think it's a 143 total.
I love it, Max. The next game up on our docket is a game that everybody wants you to talk about because it pops off in 2 hours. This is the get us through our workday game of the day. Colgate, Boston University. You are fresh off of cashing Boston University first half -2 2 days ago. It was an easy casher for you. Here we have Boston University is opening up as a 1.5 point home dog. We see 2.5s on the board at FanDuel, PointsBet, and some other books. From a total perspective, this total opened up at 137.5, and it's basically there. It's another situation where the market seems confused. We have 137s, 137.5s, and 138s here. This game, 2 hours from tip-off. Colgate, Boston U. Max, take it away.
Yeah, listen, Jim, I definitely am the Patriot League governor. I have named myself that. I'm forcing people to refer to me in some circles as the Patriot League governor instead of Maxwell Smart.
Yeah.
And I'll say this, Jim. Colgate has been very smart. They've been very smart on defense. There has not been a team that has eclipsed the 60-point plateau since their very unfortunate loss to Lehigh, and this team has been absolutely rolling. I think that moving Keegan Records into the starting lineup and bringing Jeff Woodward off the bench has been beneficial for the offense and hasn't taken away from anything from the defense. I think that this is a spot where you have to look at Colgate early. But you have to be aware that Boston University on their own side, they're playing their best basketball of the season. This is the heavyweight tilt in the Patriot League. And I think that Colgate's going to be a first half money line winner. So let's make that official.
First half money line winner for Colgate. I'm going to be line shopping for Max, but this is his second official pick and love seeing what you go to the window with. Let's keep rolling while I line shop. We'll break down the next game. Oh, Dabby Do Cab wants to know Akron, Toledo. We head back to the MAC. And let's see. Let's see what we are dealing with here in this spot. We have Akron opening up as 9-point dogs. A big move towards them, all the way down to 7 at some books. Let's move over to the total. In the total, we have opening up at 139.5. We see 138.5 and 138 and 137.5. FanDuel leading the way to that under. Take it away here, Max. Akron, Toledo.
Yeah, listen, Jim, I think that this is a real test for Toledo if they can continue to freaking do what they've been doing. We've seen teams in similar situations. Morehead State is the example from last night that had just been rolling, and then eventually freaking they fell over. It's like Humpty Dumpty. So I'm worried about Toledo, but if I am taking my emotion and freaking feelings out of it and going by the numbers, going with what my betting model says, I am going to be on Toledo first half. It's what's been working. It gives me a good opportunity to gauge what's going on with this team and how Toledo's front court is going to match up with the physicality of Ali and Enrique Freeman. We know that Xavier Castaneda and Brian Trimble are guards to be respected, but going up against the firepower that this Toledo team has, Akron's going to have to play a serious slowdown under game if they're going to want to keep these guys down. Otherwise, Buffalo fell the freaking same fate that I believe Akron will. I think that Toledo may not look great for the whole 20 minutes in the first half, but I do think that they will cash the first half and then they will pour it on late like they normally do. So I'm going to ride Toledo first half, and with the number moving down, Jim, I can't make it official because I could get a better line later on.
I love it. It makes sense here. Max, we do have to figure out how we want to attack Colgate first half because the money line, it's getting bet quickly, and the money line's just so juiced right now. But Nut Flush Allen found a Colgate first half -1. Actually, I take that back. Sorry, I take that back. Actually, it's better than I thought. The first half at Pinnacle's -124. -0.5 is -112. Let me pull up Circa. What are you thinking? Do you want to? How much juice do you want to put into this?
Let's go with the -1, -110 at last. Yeah, I'm betting that right now. I'm taking the -1, -110. I can't bring myself to bet a -125.
No, but what about -0.5 at -112?
Yeah, I'll take that. That's a better line than I'm betting right now.
Okay, that's available right now at Pinnacle. So Max is locked into Colgate first half -0.5 at -112, available right now. Yes, Sammy Comer, thank you. Spreadsheet play of the day is for NHL's the Dallas Stars. We also have a spreadsheet play of the day for NBA. Thank you, Sammy. North Ender says Holtby confirmed for the Stars. Jimmy, that makes me happy. I still think he's a sieve. So I think that he's going to I think the Stars can – I think I cashed the over, and I think the Stars can still win that hockey game. All right, so let's roll. And thank you guys for helping us with the line shopping. So, Max, you just added Akron first half that I will be line shopping for.
No,
we didn't move on it because you think you might get better. Sorry. Okay.
Yes.
Okay,
and it was Toledo first half that I'd be moving on.
My bad. Okay, thank you. Okay, Toledo first half. Sorry. Multitasking here, so thank you for keeping me right. Okay, let's move on. Next up is our guy Kyle Hintley, and he wants Cleveland State, Wright State. When he started talking about Cleveland State, Wright State, it piqued our man Ick Schnizzle's interest because he's Cleveland born and bred. So let's move on, and he'll be coming to San Antonio to party with all of us as well. So let's go Cleveland State, Wright State. From a money line perspective, Cleveland State opened at +102. Now you can get them at +105 or +110. From a spread perspective, we have Cleveland State opening up at +1.5. Now they're at +2. And from a total perspective, we have it opening up at 150. Now down to 148. This is rotation number 899-900. Cleveland State, Wright State. Take it away, Max.
Yeah, Jim, this is a spot where Cleveland State has to prove that they're the top dog in the conference. Forget the line. Let's just look at these two teams. We have a Wright State team that is definitely plays with fire very often. Grant Basile, he's been a little off the last couple of games. Tim Finicky hasn't really been able to step up and provide extra complementary scoring, and that's put a lot of pressure on Tanner Holden, and that's allowed defenses, at least on the perimeter, to stop him from getting inside. I think that when you look at Wright State, they need different things to happen in this game than Cleveland State does to win. When you look at Cleveland State, they're defense oriented. That's what you want to see. You want to see them hold their opponent under 35 points in the first half. That's the type of Cleveland State game that they can win. When you look at Cleveland State from a personnel perspective, this is a team that has experience with Trey Gamillion and Torrey Patton that are both capable of putting in 20 points a game, and they got a game-changing 3-point scorer in Demoy Hodge. I think that you got everything you need from an offense and defensive perspective to go into Wright State's building and beat them. Now, I'll say this, Wright State has been much more formidable at home, but this is still a very inconsistent team versus a Cleveland State team that can shoot just as good as Wright State. If they want to go and play a game in the mid-80s, Cleveland State can win in that, but they can also win a game that doesn't get past 145. I think Cleveland State wins this game, Jim, and I'm not going to just take the money line. I'm going to take them on the additional spread, and we're going to play, and we're going to freaking try to play to win big. So let's get on the freaking at -1.5, Cleveland State plus 125.
Cleveland State -1.5 at plus 125. We're all watching how Max wins volume betting, and we're seeing it here using alternative lines. He's made about 160 bets. I think it's 157 bets on this show, and he's got an average line of plus 100. So it's just a great to watch this. Let's roll. Next up, Max, let me pull this up, is from our guy Jay Peasy in this. Jay Peasy wanting to know San Jose State, New Mexico. New Mexico opening up as 9.5-point favorites. That has moved to 10. And then from a total perspective, we've seen this go from 147.5 down to 146 or 146.5. Max, San Jose State, New Mexico, take it away.
Yeah, listen, I think that with New Mexico, this is an opportunity for them to get right versus San Jose State. San Jose State definitely has been able to come in and give them a surprise once in a while, but when you look at the overall body of work with these two programs, it's just not good for San Jose State. Yes, Coach Miles has done a good job of getting the best that he can out of guys like freaking Omari Moore and Trey Smith and T-Beck Gorner. I just think that the best of them has passed, and it's up to New Mexico to show that they can freaking fuck with their eyes open. When you look at New Mexico, I think that obviously you see what they have in their guard stable, but you really need Jay Allen Tovar to be a difference maker down low, and he has been 3 out of the last 4 games with a 25-point game in the game against Wyoming. That's what you need. You need more balance. You need someone else that can score the basketball aside from Jamal Mashburn. We see him fade as the game goes on, and then he makes a mental mistake. It makes New Mexico hard to back full game, but it definitely makes them worth backing first half. They have the town advantage. They have the home court advantage. And by the numbers, they do have at least a 5-point first half edge. So that's the only way I'd look in the game, but I'm not there yet.
Let's keep rolling. Nice work, Max. Next up, Warren Anderson wanting to know Rhode Island, Dayton. Rhode Island's total opening up at 123.5. It's now at 124.5. And from a spread perspective, we have where is it? Here, I just had it up. We have Dayton opening up at 5.5. Now we have 6 and 6.5. Take it away.
Yeah, listen, from a personnel perspective, it's going to be a bruising battle when you got Kamara, Daron Holmes and company on one side, and then the Mitchell brothers on the other. It's going to be up to the Mitchell brothers to be able to score bucket for bucket against Dayton's front court. We know that Daron Holmes is a huge difference maker. I watched him butcher my Bonnies, and I definitely have a resounding respect for this kid and his game. With Malachi Smith, though, in the backcourt for Dayton, he's got to be the X factor if they want to cover this number. From a talent perspective, I do think that both these teams are pretty even. the issue for me is just Rhode Island at the free throw line. How many points are they going to leave at the free throw line? And we see that they're good again to the free throw line. The problem is they're not making it. They're not 3-point oriented. They shoot way too many threes for how bad they are at shooting the three, and that's what's just going to shoot them in the foot. When you go into Dayton, I'm having a growing respect for that home court edge and for that student section noise. I think that Dayton walks into it and freaking takes care of business. I'd like to get a 5 or 5.5 before I bet it, though.
Let's keep rolling, Max. 2 games left here. We're going to, and thank you everybody for putting in the games that you want talked about. We have our guy T wanting to talk UNLV, Colorado State. Huge move towards Colorado State, opening up at 11.5. Now we see 15s and 15.5. And from a total perspective, we have it sitting at 141.5 at most books. A couple have gone up a hook to 142. Take it away.
Yeah, for me in this game, it's simply wait to see how high the line goes and then take UNLV. I know that UNLV is going to be missing guys, but they are going to have Royce Ham, and that makes a big difference in the front court, and especially against David Roddy. I do think that Isaiah Stevens is going to be the best guard on the floor, and Colorado State should win this game. I just think that we're having a really big reaction to Donovan Williams not being in the lineup, and I just think it's a bit of an overreaction considering they still have Mike Nuga on the bench that can come off and produce for them.
And Max, thank you for your hard work. The last game we are going to break down from our guy Bob Taylor is this Pennsylvania Hartford spot. Harvard. Big difference there. Total opened up at 144.5 down to 139.5. And from the spread perspective, we have Harvard opening up as 3-point favorites. We see 3.5s and 4s on the board. Take it away.
Yeah, listen, I apologize for being difficult, but this is a game that I want nothing to do with. I do not bet Harvard well and never have, and I just don't.
No problem. And then if that's the case, we could touch on Canisius Monmouth because Abel Alvarez asking if you think that Monmouth could cover this big number. We see it off the board here. If that's true, it opened at -12 for Monmouth. Is it off the board or is it available?
I'm looking right now.
Let's see if I can get it here.
Sorry about that.
No, it's all good. It's here. It's here at Pinnacle. So yeah, Pinnacle has this moving from 12 to 11 and a total at 139.5, slightly juiced to the over, Max.
Yeah, listen, I think that while Monmouth has definitely been a very good cash cow, I'm just not sure if I want to be backing them at this type of number. I think that they have started to figure it out, especially showing some nice home court freaking power in the freaking win against Manhattan. With their rebounding, though, that's where I think that the biggest jump has to come from. They got to be able to dominate on the glass. They got to be able to get Walker Miller into more scoring opportunities. And I think that with Walker Miller, he opens up so much 3-point shooting, and you don't see Monmouth putting up a ton of them, especially recently. And that's a problem, with Monmouth shooting 26% from 3 and only hitting like 5 of them a game. I worry about them covering this type of numbers. So I'd have to lean towards Canisius with the double-digit spread.
Max, we love it. Thank you for sharing your hard work with us. We have Max sitting 84 and 75, 52.8%, plus 7.45 units, ROI plus 4.69%, average line plus 100. He's been excellent here on our show, and he's been extremely good since I got back from COVID. He has 3 spots on the board that he has moved on officially. Ohio -2.5 at plus 165. Alternative line also is an alternative line with Cleveland State -1.5 at plus 125. Then he has Colgate first half -0.5 at -112. That is Maxwell Smart's action. There you go. Turnsy trying to set you off saying Max is killing it, but I need to know what circumstances would he consider honey mustard?
I would absolutely never consider it. That is like me saying that I would drown myself. It's just not going to happen. I'm not going to drown myself. I don't like water, especially lake water. Cold lake water, even worse. No.
Oh, the stink that comes up from Lake Ontario.
Absolutely.
I agree. Remmo says Max's show Net Profits is a must-see, guys. It puts money in my pockets every day, Monday through Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern. Maxwell Smart alongside Connor Mack. Max, thank you so much for all of your insights. Follow Max on Twitter at CBMS420. Max, we love you. Thank you for joining us. Have a great weekend, and we can't wait to see you again on Tuesday.
All right. Thanks, Jim. Take care, and let's get some winners tonight.
There he is, Maxwell Smart. We go. So all of these guys, our guests, while I have been struggling, the best thing about this show, and look, Loshak and I knew this right off the hop, was it's not about us. We're just a caveat. It's not about us. And thank God, because while I've been struggling, our guests have been eating. And none more than your next guest on the show who's hit 12. I repeat that, 12 straight spread bets in NBA, man, delivering magic. Please welcome to the show, Pride of Los Angeles, California, Daryl Rice, rolling with us. It's Daryl.
Yo, happy Friday, Jay. Happy Friday to you, man. Good to be back talking ball. Real quick note, I don't know if you talked with Ron, but he did give his Ron Crawford spreadsheet play of the day.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to make sure I told him that I would get it to you. And before I started drinking here, I didn't want to forget. So what's good to everybody in the chat? Yes, I did look at these games last night, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be drinking. So Red Eyes, I see you, man. I see you. Michael, all y'all, let's go, man. Let's try to get this back. And I'm telling you right now, Jay, I don't like this card, and just my own opinion. And the reason why is I just feel like it's a little too hard for me to figure out, right? So just kind of trying to pick some spots here. But, hey, we've been winning, man, right? And so, you know, if you don't go with your gut, if you're scared to make a play, then, you don't make no money. So let's do it.
Let's do it. You've been fantastic, and I don't want to talk about it too much, although I don't believe in any of that bullshit. I don't believe in jinxes and all that stuff. But you've been winning and winning and winning, and we've been loving it and reaping the benefits of it. And you've been cutting down the quantity of your action, and maybe this is another card you'll do that with. Whatever you've been doing, it's been working. Let's continue. This is the only bet I've made, and I've almost moved on a side here.
Mm-hmm.
I did bet the over in Detroit, Orlando, and it was a game that was, for me, was predicated on pace, and I haven't even looked to see where the money's at in this spot. I probably should have before I made the bet, but I liked the spot. Let's see what we are dealing with. Looks like this hasn't updated. Let me just refresh this. Feels like it hasn't updated here. I'm going to get the Sports Insights to refresh. And there we go. Perfect. Updated. So 76% of the tickets and 70% of the cash is on the Detroit Pistons.
Yeah.
And we have a lean from our Schnizzle on Detroit. Now, my lean was pretty heavy towards the Orlando Magic. And then from a total standpoint, oh, this is beautiful. 59% of the tickets, 94% of the cash. Now, it opened at 212, and there was 212 and a halves. I bet it at 213. I couldn't get the 212 and a halves, but there were 212 and a halves available. It's now 213 and a half here at my book. Don Mack says this game went way under the last time they played. This is a healthy Orlando Magic squad that's playing at a fast pace. They're fifth in the NBA over their past five in pace at 101 possessions a game. I also see a young team that's 3-18 at home that looks across at who they're playing against and thinks, we can win this game. We can win this game. Let's win this game. And Detroit, do they care about being in Orlando? It feels like this game means more to Orlando than it does to Detroit, who's just 4-21 on the road. Pistons coming off their third straight loss, 110-105 at home versus Denver on Tuesday night. We all cashed on the Pistons plus 7.5 on Tuesday night. And I think, again, that was predicated on the fact that Denver was on the first set of a back-to-back, and they were resting guys in the fourth quarter, and they weren't forcing it, and Detroit came right back in that game. Also, Cade Cunningham goes for 34, 8-8, youngest player in franchise history to go for 35-5, averaging 17.9 points per game in January. They do get Frank Jackson back. They lose Kelly Olynyk, and Jeremy Grant is also in the COVID protocol. He's not playing tonight. Orlando comes in off their 5th loss in 6 games, 111-102 at home versus the Clippers on Wednesday night. 6 players, double figures, led by Franz Wagner's 21 points. I'm on the over here. Daryl, how are you attacking it? Are you attacking it, or is this a stay away?
Where's the next game? Can we go to the next game?
Okay. We can.
No, why are we talking about this fucking game?
I love
I know we love to talk sports, right? That's cool. But I mean, goddamn, man, it's Orlando and Detroit. For the record, I'll just leave it at this. I think Detroit does get up here. James says, am I crazy for thinking that this is a Detroit money line game? No, not at all. I don't know. I don't even know why Orlando is even favorites here, right? So you've got the majority of the side on Detroit, but that number is still going up. Like, come on, bro. Nah, next game. I'm not playing this game at all. The only opinion I have here is I just think Detroit can get up. And no wine glass today, so I got my wine in my Lakers cup. Sorry if y'all think it, but yeah, it's one of these days. Today's fucked up. I'm telling you now, today is fucked up. But for this to be the first game, I'm straight, bro. I'm straight. We can go into the next one.
Well, let's go on to it. I love bum fights.
Yeah,
I told you guys about the first bum fight I witnessed. 13 years old, Hastings Street, Vancouver, on acid as well. It was my birthday, and my brother, 5 years older than me, got me way too deep, way too early. But it was a bum fight. One attractive black woman against a non-attractive white woman, and the white woman grabbed the black woman's hair, and it was a wig, pulled it off. I probably should have known that. I probably should have expected that.
Didn't happen.
But it was excellent. But it scared me. It did scare me. There was some blood, and I went and got some blueberry bubble gum, blueberry bubblicious, and moved on. There you have it, though. I love bump fights. Viper knows it. I love bump fights. I got the over 213, and I want the Magic.
Why did you bet this game? I'm just curious. Like when you looked at this game, you was like, I want to bet this fucking game. Why? I mean, what made you think that?
My palms are fucking leaking as we talk about it. Like this shit, I fucking love this shit. I'm so, and there's, a lot of people are dealing with tough things going on in the world right now.
Yeah.
A lot of people, there's a lot of death around us. There's a lot of cancer around us. There's a lot of problems around us. And capping this shit makes me so happy. Capping the games, I just love it. I love every second of it. And I do want to give one quick shout out. One of our guys that we care about so much is down right now. Wally, our guy Fat Wally, he's in the hospital right now. So if you guys could all give out some love to Wally, he's going to be hanging with us in San Antonio. We got to get him back healthy again. We got to get him back as soon as possible. I'm going to pop Wally's Twitter handle here. I love the man, and he's in the hospital right now. And he's had a tough go. He got COVID a little while ago as well. He's had a tough go. I'm just going to pop his Twitter handle here in the chat. Give Wally some love here because, man, is he just an incredible guy. So there he is. There's Wally's Twitter handle in the hospital right now if we can give him some love. I'm leaning towards the Magic, and I guess this breakdown didn't help me enormously, but I am leaning towards the Magic. Let's move on to the next spot on the card. That takes us to Boston Celtics at Atlanta Hawks. This was an interesting spot here, because I thought the Hawks would be slightly more of a favorite. Absolutely. And I almost bet the Hawks. But I thought, you know what? God, you got your partner has hit 12 straight side bets.
Yeah.
Talk it over with him. So I stayed off and wanted to talk this with you. Boston 3-2 over the past 5, 22nd in pace at 96.70 possessions a game. Atlanta 5-0. And remember, that comes on the heels of an 0-5 run. 5-0, 11th in pace over those 5 at 99.30 possessions a game. We have moved on to line shopping with the Action Network, as the site that we've done for years has been hurting us. So here we go. This opened at 1.5. It's still at 1.5, although FanDuel and PointsBet have moved the Hawks to. That makes me feel okay. And then from a total perspective, we've gone from 218.5 to 218 or 217 and a half. If we want to look and see where the cash lies in this game, we have 54% of the tickets on the Celtics and 79% of the cash. Thank God I'm not sitting here on the Hawks at this point. Unless I really believed in it, I can't go against that. 23% of tickets on the under, but 52% of cash on the under. So big bets are coming in on the under. Boston comes in off their second straight win, 128-75 at home versus the Kings on Tuesday night. 36 from Jason Tatum, 30 from Jaylen Brown, and they neither played the fourth. They led by 60 at one point.
Yeah.
The Hawks coming off that 121-104 win over Sacramento on Wednesday, the night after the debacle the Kings had against the Celtics. Atlanta's bench with Bogdanovich back in outscored Sacramento's bench 70-24, 41-11 in the first half. Bogdanovich out for 5 games with a sore right knee. He comes back. He goes for 18. Okongwu goes for 18 and 7. Lou Will goes for 15 and 5 assists. Gallinari goes for 7 and 9. Trae Young was the only starter in double figures, the only one who needed to be. This is an interesting spot. Take it away. Red Eye says, Jimmy, where's your drink? I'm trying to get my family out of Parkdale. I'm trying very hard. And we're looking at a house here right after the show. We're looking at a house to rent, and I've got to drive in the snow. And so that's why I'm not on the sauce, because I got to get my family out of Parkdale. Okay, take it away. Celtics, Hawks. This is a fascinating game. I'm excited about this game. Can't wait to hear you break it down.
This is crazy, man, because this is what made me get my bottle. Right? I thought to myself, just even looking at the game yesterday, why was this line so low with the body of work that Atlanta's been giving you these past 5 games?
Mm-hmm.
Right? They've been doing so well, and they've been playing some really good playing teams. I mean, Sacramento was probably your worst appointment or opponent. That's why I said, give me the Hawks in that Sacramento game, because they were probably the worst out of all the players that they had played or teams that they had played. And Boston has won the last 2, but this is what this one here boggles me. This was obviously going to be an Atlanta side for me, right? And then I had to study more into the line. Boston's on their back-to-back, right? So this is obviously a travel back-to-back, am I right? So they play tonight, and then they go and play New Orleans tomorrow. So Ski mentioned that, and I've looked into that, but that's kind of one of the worst positions for a team to be into is on a back-to-back travel, right? That's one thing. So that should have been taken into consideration. Atlanta is on a 5-game win streak right now, and they're on a homestand, right? They are on a homestand, so they're not going anywhere. Again, Atlanta doesn't play till the 30th. So they're in a 5-game win streak. Right now, they're in their 2nd game of a 5-game homestand, and it's only -2, and now it's got to -1.5. Looking at their numbers, they're kind of the same in the first quarter. Where Atlanta does thrive is the second quarter, and this is why they put up 46 points against Sacramento after being down by 12 in that second quarter to win that first half bet. So looking at it, it seems like the only safest bet to play again here, because I'm looking too much into the number, is going to be Atlanta first half. Now, I haven't moved on it just yet, right? I haven't moved on it just yet. But it just seems like right now, that would be the play. Either that or just stay off this game altogether, because I was just so surprised to see this number so low. So once again, are the books just trying to have you automatically bet Atlanta here so that they can turn around and lose this game, trick off this game, and the books come up pretty fat? But -2 and now -1.5, you're going to look at basically those the fans of the game not really looking deep into the game, going to automatically take Atlanta. So right now, and it happened a couple days ago, are the books just giving us money with this spread? So me overthinking it, I just don't have a play on it, but I might get there with Atlanta first half.
It was an excellent breakdown. Very, very. It makes. I guess it doesn't give us any more clarity. That's the only problem.
Right. Yeah.
But it makes so much sense, and you're saying sort of what we're feeling. Eric Rosas says, kind of think Tatum drains threes here. Player props always give me a heart attack. So Anthony Edwards points prop got there, needed 23, had 8 going into the fourth. And then Nutflush on says Boston's a goddamn roller coaster to bet on. James looking at Al Horford over 6.5 rebounds. Let's eat. Okay, you know what? I think you're absolutely right. That when the books hang this type of thing, and it doesn't always work, like it's not like always every time, but they're looking for a bet a certain way, and
Yeah.
42% of the tickets, so a little, not public, but 78% of the cash on the Celtics. So
That's wild. And to Lingo's point, I mean, they're not going to give us another 46-point quarter, but if you want a little reason why I took second or the first half play and leaning there heavy is because right now, sitting in second and second quarter points is Atlanta. They are right behind Denver in second quarter points. Their season average is 29, and they're right now in their last three averaging 33, right? Obviously, that 46 did help, but they are second right now in second quarter. So even for whatever reason, they have a slow start, they'll start to surge. So that's why I'm liking the first half.
Listen to this. Joe Yurkovich says Atlanta with a rest disadvantage because we know that the Celtics haven't played since Tuesday night. 4-7 against the spread.
Maybe that's what it is. But do you, I mean, and that's really good, Joe. That helps me look at things. But Atlanta still has a little rest. I mean, it's 2 days. But yeah, you are right there. So you give Boston a little more time to game plan. But Boston, I mean, do you still get in front of a 5-game win streak? Like, who wants to do that just now? So it's tricky. It's tricky. But I would look at first half.
All right, let's roll. 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Next up, LA Lakers 24-25, 9-13 on the road at Charlotte Hornets 27-22, 13-7 at home. Nutflush John says, "What can you get on a team total Atlanta under?" I'm in the line shop for that for you, Nutflush. As soon as I hand this over to Daryl, we're at the Spectrum Center in Charlotte, North Carolina. Lakers 3-2 over the past 5, 15th in pace at 98.20 possessions game, while Charlotte 3-2, third in pace at a 101.50 possessions game, obviously boosted by the 158 points they scored, most points in team history on Wednesday night in that win at Indiana. Let's see what the market is doing here. Action Network, see what they tell us. This total opened up at 230 and is down to 228.5. And from the spread perspective, we have it opening up at +7, and now we have +6.5 for the Lakers on the road. Second half of a back-to-back after losing their second 3 games, 105-87 at Philly last night without LeBron James in the lineup resting his sore knee. I don't know if we have the latest update on LeBron. Anthony Davis looked good, 31-12, second game back after missing 17. Hornets snapped out of their 2-game losing streak with that 87 second-half points. That's the largest total in the second half of any NBA game in 31 years. Oubre ties a franchise record with 10 threes. He also set a record for most points by reserve with 39. LaMelo goes for a triple-dub. Take it away here, Daryl. Lakers, Hornets.
Next game. Next fucking game. There's no way we're even talking about this game. I would play the Detroit-Orlando game before I played this fucking game. Like, come on, for real. Like this, if you're taking a side, then you're just going to take Charlotte, right? When I looked at this game, we don't even know if LeBron's playing or if AD is playing. I mean, God, this one should just be, Charlotte should just be able to get it done. But because I am a Laker fan and sometimes I can't take my emotions out of it, you did see AD hold Embiid under his 30 points. So there could be some defense here, right? There will be defense, but it was at 6.5. It's gotten up to 7.5. It's gone back down. So, I mean, for me to confidently say Charlotte can go out here and roll them, I would be lying, right? But for me to think that Los Angeles could win this game, I'd also be lying. So this is a game that once I saw how they played against Philly, I'm like, man, nah. So I'm off of this game for sure. There is not one single play that I will make in this game. Not one single play.
My expectation with LeBron sitting out last night was that AD is going to sit out tonight and LeBron's going to play.
Yeah, I thought that too. But why? Why would he sit out? Just because of the back-to-back? I mean, he did have his little wrist hurt. It's weird. I got it wrong. So, and this is another reason why I would think the game that LeBron would want to play is the game against, the Philly 76ers, where you've got this scoring title on the line. So yeah, it's if LeBron plays, I just never thought about AD sitting when he just got back. Like he literally just got back, right? And so why would he sit unless he is hurt? He did play throughout his wrist. He actually had a damn good game, man. Like, if we look at that game he played, he's not even on the injury report. So unless he's going to be a late scratch, which it seems like no, because the line has actually gone down, right? But at that game against Philly, man, AD, yeah, he put up 31 points. He played 33 minutes. He was 14 for 21, 3 for 3 for free throws, 3 offensive, 9 defensive, 1 assist. I mean, that's a pretty decent game, man. 4 blocks. So he played the game he was supposed to play, and he held Embiid under 30 points. So why would he have to sit out this game? What the fuck is he resting for? He's been he hasn't been playing in months, right? So either LeBron's just going to sit again. That's why this line is the way it is. Or, he'll play, which make you think that the line should go even further down. But I don't know why he would sit unless he's hurt. And he didn't play like he was hurt yesterday.
Yeah, I think it'd just be precautionary, which is such bullshit. But
that's fine. That's fine. But
no, I hear it in your breath. I hear it. Being a tough year for Lakers fans. Okay, let's move on. Oh, by the way, not Flush Allen, the team total at Pinnacle for the Hawks is 109.5, and it is juiced heavily. Well, for Pinnacle, minus 116 to the under. Let's move on to the next spot. Here is Turdy says AD's a guy who needs an open hand slap. I love the old open hand slap, but
that's funny, man.
Kind of out of my game now. I'm 42.
Don't you call that the farm hand?
The farm hand. Yeah, I just there's this. I got stories for days. The Yuck Yucks in Vancouver at one time was owned by these East Indian gangsters, just gangsters, man. And the one guy who was this skinny, skeletal looking guy, and always had a call girl with them, and it was always doing rails nonstop. I watched him slap 3 different people with that part of his hand, and he was so skinny and little, but he had this slap. And no one would ever fight back or any say anything back to him, and just and I was just like, and then always my friends would be, oh, check it out. I'm like, no, we'll walk away. Last thing we want to do is have him look up. Okay. All right. Let's keep rolling here. But I do love the open hand slap. 8 p.m. Eastern, Denver Nuggets 26-21, 13-12 on the road. They got the club, by the way, for $1. They got Yuck Yucks for $1. They had this huge nightclub, and Yuck Yucks just wanted a presence in Vancouver, so they got it for $1. So they couldn't have given a fuck about the club. They just couldn't have cared about the club at all. And that was where they performed every night. Denver Nuggets 26-21, 13-12 on the road. New Orleans Pelicans 18-29, 11-11 at home. Smoothie King Center, New Orleans, Louisiana. Denver 4-1 over their past 5, 12th in pace at 99.23 possessions a game. Pelicans 2-3 over their past 5, 24th in pace at 96.30 possessions a game. Let's move over to the market and see what we're dealing with in this Pelicans spot. We have here, where the hell is it? Here we go. The Nuggets open up as 5.5-point favorites. That's down to 4 or 3.5. So a move towards these New Orleans Pelicans, which is somewhat surprising. This total has gone from 215 all the way up to 218 or 218.5. When we go over to where the cash lies in this spot, we have these Pelicans with 34% of the tickets and 67% of the cash. Wow. On the Pels. So that's the clear market move towards them because big sharp bets have come in on them. Then we have 91% of tickets on the over, 93% cash on the over. So there's another spot where everything makes sense there. Nuggets coming off their third straight win, 124-118 at Brooklyn on Wednesday. No Harden, no Durant, no Irving. Jokic goes for 26, 10, and 8. Austin Rivers goes for 25. 8 of 11 from the 4, 7 of 10 from 3. Will Barton added 21 and 10. He didn't play the game before. Boogie goes for 13 off the bench before getting 2 technicals to rest that fat ass. The Pelicans had their 2-game winning streak snapped in a 117-107 loss at Philly on Tuesday night. The Pelicans at home won 4 straight and 8 of 10, and all the sharp money's on them. Brandon Ingram and Josh Hart missed practice on Thursday. Devontae Graham returned to practice Thursday, as did Valanciunas. Alexander Walker went for 31 points, 11 of 22 and 5 assists, made us very proud up here. And Willie Hernan Gomez went for 29-10, making his first start in more than 3 weeks. 29-10, career high 29 points, replacing Valanciunas. Take it away here. Do you understand and get this move towards the Pelicans?
Because they do ball at home. That's very true. They are competitive. They can be competitive. And if you looked at that stretch where they were losing games, they were just balling out. I like Denver, and this is my official play. I like Denver first half here. And I like it that the line is going to 5 because you don't have Brandon Ingram in this game. If he doesn't play, then that makes it even better for Joker, in my opinion. Right? You still have Joe Val that you have to worry about, but I mean, you're missing Hart, right? You're missing Hart, and then you have Devontae Graham, who is possibly not playing. So you got some key players out. I think Josh Hart is actually playing, but the main person is Brandon Ingram, and so I like the body of work that Denver has, even though this is got to be telling. Their last 10 right now, they're not playing the best first halves, but I believe this is a game that they can play good in the first half because you're missing your main piece that's going to clog up the paint in Brandon Ingram. What I mean by clog is he could play in the paint and he can play outside. He is your shooter. He is your scorer. So ranked first in first half points is good enough for me. I do like that. Denver is really, really good in the first half as far as scoring. So even if you were looking at first half overs, I wouldn't be mad at you also. I believe they're 8-2 in their last 10 on first half overs. So this score here or the total rather, it's kind of low. So you can kind of look also at maybe looking at Denver team total over in the first half if you're afraid of the sides. But I think the line is low enough for me to believe that they can be winning by 2 points or 3 or even more than that by the first half. So give me Denver first half -2. I believe the line is just low enough. If you look at how the Pelicans have been winning these spreads, it's either been against really, really bad teams, and these are first half spreads to make them 7-3, or the line is really long, right? Like 11.5 against, was it Philly, I believe? So it's one of those things to where, yeah, that was against Philly. That line was 11.5. They beat Indy, but you know how bad Indy was. That line was 4. They beat New York. That line was also 4, but you lost to Boston at a 4 line as well. So you can give me Denver -2 at the first half. Don't really know what they'll do second half, but I do like that Denver is still the highest scoring first half team. I'll take my play on there. I do like that. I'm pretty comfortable with that side. Denver first half -2. Give it to me.
And that's moved to 1.5 now.
Yeah,
with all these books.
Yeah, I'll take it. I got it at -2 when I played it. And Bovada is always going to be a little more juiced. And I like on days that I do the show, I really should do more line shopping than I do. But yeah, 1.5, I'll still take it. If Brandon Ingram is not playing, correct?
They have him listed as questionable, but under Roto World, they're saying that it's more like doubtful.
Yeah, he's doubtful. So I don't know why this is going the other way. But yeah, I do like Denver first half. Now, how they do third quarter, that's how they do. But first half sounds like a safe play.
THC's Rizza is looking at that first half over. Ixnizzle agreeing with that first half look. Benny, 1 of 1 is on the Nuggets. Joe Yurkovich says Denver playing games to the over. Vincent Sigger says if Ingram is playing, he's going to stay away. By the way, Vincent lives 10 minutes from the Southtown 101. Will be partying with us in San Antonio.
Nice.
Okay, and Jokic over 26.5 from Sterling Gentry Jr. That's the situation here. Durrell, 12 straight cashers on spread bet. 12 straight, and it's on the line here with Nuggets first half -1.5. There's Lex Steele in the house, and he's also on the Nuggets and Pels over. Let's move on to 8 p.m. Eastern. LA Clippers 25-25, 10-13 on the road at Miami Heat, 31-17, 7-5 at home. We're at FTX Arena in Miami, Florida. Clippers over their past 5, 3-2, 18th in pace at 97.76 possessions a game, while Miami is 4-1, 29th in pace at 94.40 possessions a game. Let's move over to the Action Network and see what this is. Clippers have been a tough team to cap for me of late. Yeah. This total opened up at 209.5. Now we see 210 and 211.5. Then from a spread perspective, we have it opening up with the Clippers plus 5.5. Now they are plus 7.5. When we go over to the cash flow in this spot, we see these Clippers, 6,847 tickets in, 83% of the tickets on the Heat, 96% of the cash, and we see the movement towards them. So that all makes sense there. Then we have 45% of the tickets on the under, 49% of the cash on the under. So basically a coin flip situation on the total. Clippers coming off their second straight win, 111-102 at Orlando on Wednesday night. Clippers are the only NBA team in the past 25 years to win 3 games in one season after trailing by at least 24. And they've done that twice. They've done that 3 times in the past 2 weeks. So Marcus Morris is out due to personal reasons. Maybe that's part of the reason with the market move. We know that Kawhi and Paul George are long gone. So it's Reggie Jackson and this bench that's been so useful over the last year. Heat point guard Kyle Lowry's missed 5 straight games due to personal reasons, and the Heat are 4-1 in those games. They beat up on the Knicks 110-96. You were really leaning closely towards backing the Heat early on Wednesday, and that was just bang on.
Yeah.
They were all over them.
Yeah.
And Duncan Robinson goes for 25 on 7 of 11. Jimmy Butler had a triple-double, had 10 first-half assists. Heat are playing good ball. I took a look at the Heat futures. I know I've missed it. I'm way past it, but I took a look at the Heat futures and saw 12-1 to win it all. And then I immediately text Razor to remind me what, because he put 500 on the Heat to win it all. He got 20-1. Take it away here, Clippers, Heat, Daryl.
Yeah. So first, let me put some legs on the I don't give a fucking shit what the spread is play means, and pretty much why I thought of it. When I say that, it's just my confidence level on that play, right? So it's me kind of looking out the play, looking at the numbers, and it's not necessarily to say the spread itself, but just my confidence level on that play and how I feel about it. If I had to bet the farm, you put a gun to my head, I'd bet the farm on that specific play. So if the books had the Heat at minus 15 and I was that confident that they would cover that spread, then I don't give a fucking shit what the spread is. So it's really more about confidence level versus what the number is, right? So I like this. I do like Heat first half here. Right now, Heat are right in the middle of the pack for the season average of 55 points, but in the last 3, they have put up 60. Clippers doing bad altogether, and really in the second quarter, where they are close to last. First half, right now, we've got the Heat. I just had the number. The Heat at 7-3. First half ATS in the last 10. And the Clippers are right now sitting at 4-6. They are 11-12 away. And they are 10-15-2 at home. I do believe right now with the Heat averaging almost 60 points in the last 3, and the Clippers averaging 48 points in their last 3, I feel like this is a good time to jump on the Heat first half. I really do. Now, why not full game? Just because of what the Clippers have done the last 2 games. I was really on Orlando, but hey, that's the reason why I didn't jump on Orlando, because you just don't play Orlando games and you see what happens. Orlando comes out, just lays an egg and does the same thing that Washington does after, essentially just being down by a lot of points and coming back and winning. So I do like the Miami Heat first half. And like I said earlier, do I expect them to have a large lead and then come back and trick it off and lose the game? No, they are still first in the East, if I'm correct. So I do like Miami Heat to get it done early, just based on their most recent body of work, and to just keep the pressure on them. Wouldn't be afraid of the full game, but you just don't know what to expect from the Clippers, right? So I want to get my money early and get out. I do like them, and I believe that number right now, because I already bet it, I got it at 4. Heat minus 4. Yeah. I'm going to look at one more thing because it's just updated on OddsShark. And the Heat are quietly. Okay, yeah. So, yeah. Heat right now are sitting at a really good spot for the first half. So I do like the Heat first half here. Should have been on it last game for an extra win, but I like it here because it is the Clippers and how terrible they've been doing at, these first halves. What scares me though is how do you kind of readjust that? Do you start a new game plan, right? Do you play the same game? Are you running the same plays? I don't know. But you got to believe that the Clippers are going to stop, scoring so low in the first half eventually. But will it be against the Heat? Nah, I don't think so. I think that he's going to come out here rolling, and they should get it done easily in the first half.
Yeah, that breakdown all makes sense to me. You can get a first half of -4 still available, -111 at Pinnacle, which tells me that there's going to be 4.5s very soon as the juice is moving in that direction. -110 at Circa. Number 2 bet for Durrell is the Heat. First half -4 at -110. Let's keep rolling. Next up, we have Portland Trailblazers, 20-28, 6-15 on the road. At Houston Rockets, 14-34, 7-14 at home at the Toyota Center, Houston, Texas. Portland 2-3 over their past 5, 17th in pace at 97.80 possessions a game, while Houston also 2-3, second in pace at 101.70 possessions a game, and that's down about 3.5 possessions a game from their high of about 10-12 games ago.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about the market. Here we go. We have the Trailblazers opening up as 1.5-point favorites. That is now 2.5 at BetMGM, 3.5 at FanDuel, 3 at the other books. When we look at the total, we have it opening up at 233, and now we see 233.5s and 234s. When we look over at the cash in this one, we have 5,132 tickets in, and it's all Portland. 86% of the tickets, 90% of the cash market moving towards them. So far, there's not been any real confusing market moves. Money's been going in the direction of all the teams that the market's moving towards, except for the Bulls-Spurs game at first glance, which we will get to. That's the one that doesn't quite make sense here with the cash flow. Then we have 57% of tickets on the under in Portland, Houston, and no cash up yet, so we'll wait on that. Blazers coming off their second straight loss, 132-112 at home to the Mavericks, not over, loss at home to the Mavericks on Wednesday. Portland was out 6 rotation players, and Nazir Little and Robert Covington joining that list. And Covington had been pretty consistent for this team throughout the year and all the injury struggles that they've dealt with. Lex Steele, thank you so much for the dono. Respect, man. Thank you for supporting us and thinking about us. We'll never sell you anything, my man. Hopefully you can party with us in San Antonio for the Pub-Up-Palooza. So Little has a labral tear in his left shoulder, so he's probably out for the rest of the season. Yeah. Rockets coming off their second straight loss, 134-104 home to the Spurs on Tuesday night. This losing streak for the Rockets is now 9 straight games at home. That's a home losing streak. Take it away here, Durrell. Blazers, Rockets.
So where the look is, honestly, it's got get your money fast and get out. You got to look at Portland first quarter here. Portland first quarter is going to be the look. Last 10 on the updated, they are now 8-2. I believe they are 8-2 first quarter against the spread. Let me make sure that's right. Yeah, 8-2. And you know where they're really good? Away. They're 13-8 for their season record away. 8-2 in the last 10. They're averaging, and this is what scares me. This does scare me a little bit, but I might get there. First quarter points for Houston, average for the season, 27.9. Their last 3, 29.7, and their last one is 23. Portland is actually under them. Portland is averaging 26 for the season, 29 in their last 3, and 25. Portland really got smacked by Dallas, which basically that game was over when it started. Dallas put up 42 points that first quarter, right? They played Minnesota. Portland beat Minnesota first quarter. And remember, Minnesota is a first quarter, first half team where you can make some money. Portland took one of those first quarters away from them. They played Toronto. Toronto, 15 points that first quarter to Portland's 33, right? And then, that's Toronto at home at that. And then Boston put up 25 points and Portland put up 30. Right. So at 231.5, we're saying there's going to be no defense. This was 232.5 earlier this morning. I do believe that Portland is the right side. I do believe that they could have split one of these 2 games against Minnesota Well, Dallas was an obvious loss, but Minnesota could have been a win had it not been a goaltend for Anthony Simons in the last play of the game, basically, that got him up to 109 and 107. So that game probably could have been in overtime. Minnesota have been playing pretty well. So I'm telling you now, man, this does look like and feel like a Portland side. I don't know why Portland would not beat Houston here. I don't know why. I like Portland, but I like them better in the first quarter as their body of work and what they've been doing. The only thing that scares me is the fact that Houston plays better in the first quarter. They've been playing better as of late. The numbers are better than Portland in the first quarter, so I'm off the game for right now.
Wow. Interesting breakdown. Another important thing for those of you looking to attack this game is that Pinnacle has taken it off the board. Let me just refresh this here.
Interesting.
Let me just refresh it. And this is the sharpest book that there is. So Pinnacle. Okay, they just added a game here, but not this one. So Pinnacle has this off the board.
Interesting.
Something's going on.
So I'm thinking, wasn't he probable? So you think Kevin Porter is not playing?
There's 100% something is up. Pinnacle doesn't put themselves in uncomfortable situations. They give the best juice and the best odds.
Yeah.
And they don't leave themselves vulnerable. So there's player movement here that's important, integral to this game. So that's going on right now.
Yeah, and if it comes back, I think I'm just going to go ahead and make it official because Portland's actually playing good in the first half also. And the Rockets are terrible in the first half. Yeah, I think I'm going to move now and make that official. Let me look.
It's available. You could get the Portland Trailblazers first quarter minus a half at minus 109. It's available at lots of books.
And what is their first half?
By the way, David Troy, Cashman, they think that it's because Christian Wood is not going to be in the lineup dealing with a migraine right now.
Okay. What is the first half on that?
From Pinnacle, the first quarter is minus a half, minus 109, and the first half is minus 1 at minus 109.
Give me Portland -1 first half. I'm going to jump on that now and make that play official.
Drills on the plays. The Blazers first half -1 and minus 109. North Ender says player props for this game either. So there's going to be North Ender says 100% there'll be lineup news coming soon. So very, very important. And I quite likely that David Troy and Cashman are on this.
I'm taking Portland first half as an official play. I just made a play right here. It is official. Portland first half.
So those of you leaning towards moving on the Blazers, if that is your lean before this news came out, I'd bet it now.
Bet it now. Yeah, bet it now.
Like that is the situation.
Yeah, this could be a trifecta. It could, but the number's going to change.
And then that 6-15 road record just screaming at us, and probably part of the hesitation in the first place for the Blazers. Daryl's locked in. Blazers first half -1. Let's roll on. 8 p.m. Eastern. Utah Jazz 30-19, 15-9 on the road at Memphis Grizzlies, 33-17, 17-9 at home. We're at FedEx Forum in Memphis, Tennessee. Utah 1-4 over their past 5, last in pace at 93.50 possessions a game, while Memphis is 3-2, first in pace at 102.30 possessions a game. And of course, it comes down to Donovan Mitchell, who is being in concussion protocol. So he is expected to return, but North Ender says out today. He's on the plane. He went on the plane. He was on the flight, but Donovan Mitchell out today. Thank you for confirming that. By the way, Community New Knowledge, the Cash Me Out pick of the day, which has been running real hot. So respect and shout out to Community New Knowledge. He's on Portland, Houston, first half over 119.5. Donovan Mitchell out today. Interesting. I thought that he might be coming back, although this would be a tough spot for him to come back in. But he is with the team and traveling with the team. Let's move over to the market in this spot, Utah, Memphis, and see what we are dealing with. We have the total has fired up, shot up to 228 from a 224 opening. Wow. That's a big move there.
Yep.
And then from a spread, we have the Jazz opening up as 3-point dogs. They're now 4-point dogs. MGM has moved them to 4.5. And Sharon, by the way, saying that BetMGM only has Portland players up. So you guys nailed it. That's the beauty of this show and all of us working together.
Awesome.
You guys nailed what the situation was. And shout out to David Troy and Cashman and everybody working together. Schnizzle says, yes, I like the Grizz here. I came close to moving on the Grizz. My hesitation was I wanted Mitchell to be in the lineup to get a better number. That was it. That was my only hesitation there. Let's take a look at where the money is in the spot. We have 8,536 tickets in. So that's the most bet game so far on the card. And it's all Memphis. 78% of the tickets and 91% of the cash on Memphis. Funny that the market hasn't moved quicker.
I know.
The Grizzlies.
I know.
That'd be the only kind of red flag there. 61% of tickets on the over, and we don't have the cash on that. Don Mack got the Grizz -3 last night. Markel says Grizzly spot, and Schnizzle is on that Portland first half with you as well. Nutflush on says, I'm the only dad listening to the show during the awards assembly. And Skylar is totally good with it. Shout out to your daughter, Skylar. She's winning an award today, 4.0 grade point average.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Shout out to Skylar. We love you. Keep leading by example. You have such a bright future, and we are very proud of you here at Betting with the Bag. Very proud of you. Skylar Allen, 4.0 grade point average.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. You got really disciplined children to do that, or, you got really good parents, really good parenting, rather. So, yeah, that's good.
Yeah, it's a perfect combo. They're a great family. Jazz coming off their third straight loss, 105-97 at home over the Suns on Wednesday. Rudy Gobert is sat out 2 straight with a lower calf injury. I don't know if we have the latest update, if anybody in the chat has the latest update on him. So the Jazz were down 21 points after one quarter. It used to be that the Jazz would handle all these injuries and Mitchell being out of the lineup so well, but I guess Gobert and Mitchell is just too much. Utah's lost 9 of its last 11. Grizz come in off their second win in 3 games, 118-110 at the Spurs on Wednesday. Morant is rolling, averaging 36.8 points and 8.5 assists over the last 4 games. Memphis has won 14 of 17. In their game on Wednesday, Morant went for 41 points and 8 assists. He's just an absolute monster. Dylan Brooks out, but no problem because Ja is a leader and a hell of a basketball player. Take it away here, Durrell, Jazz, Grizzlies.
This, I really want to make this I don't give a fucking shit what the spread is play. But Memphis had a hard time. I mean, San Antonio just stuck around and they stuck around and they stuck around, and then finally, the end of the game, they were able to pull out that spread win, right? So I'm trying to gauge the teams here. Is San Antonio better than Utah right now with what Utah has? And the answer should be yeah.
Yeah.
Right? So why is this line -4? This line should also be higher. Now that you have Gobert out, I have Gobert is out on the official report. Gobert is out, right? So you have Gobert out, and now 5 minutes ago you got Donovan Mitchell out. I'm trying to see if the line moves. I mean, that line should have moved early already. Some people did get it at 3.5 yesterday, but I'm telling you, this is a Memphis side. I already took Memphis here. I'm just not. I hate that 4 for them for whatever reason. That 4 just gives me the creeps. So this came close to my I don't give a fucking shit what the spread is, but I already took Memphis at -4. Having Donovan out, having Rudy Gobert out is all good to me. You're just basically going to see if Utah can shoot these boys out the building, but Memphis is another beast at home. So, yeah, that's what I like.
It just moved. It just moved big. 5.5.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
5.5. Let's see if all books.
5.5. See, I got it at 4. I got it at 4, and it's too late. It's too late. It's not going to be at 4 anymore. 5.5. So 1 point. 5 points, and you're telling me that Utah
and again, just another sign of Pinnacle. And I know I talk a lot about them because they're such a sharp book. And the thing about Pinnacle is they let the sharp stay. They don't kick you out. You can take them for as much money as possible. They don't kick you out. They pulled it.
Okay. I got it at -4. It's not at 2 points just yet. I'm either going to lose or win this game. Won't be a push. Give me Memphis -5.5.
Let's see if I can beat that. I'm going to see all the live different books and see what we're dealing with. Yeah, you can get 4.5 right now at live right now as we speak. Not a stale line at circa. It's minus 118.
Yeah, that's gonna mess up my average line at minus 106. So we're talking about a point which is millions of dollars. Yeah, you know what? I'll go with the 5.5. I'll go with the 5.5.
Let me keep line shopping for you. I bet you I can beat that right now. That is an option for you. Let me keep line shopping. So we know that you want to take the Grizzlies, and let me see if I can beat it. Because Bet 365 is not going to give you the best line on the spot.
No.
So then I'm going to keep line shopping. Let's move on to the next spot here. 8 p.m. Eastern. Indiana Pacers 17-32, 5-19 on the road to Oklahoma City Thunder 14-33, 8-15 at home. Paycom Center in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Indiana passed 5, 2-3, and they're 9th in pace at 99.82 possessions a game, while OKC 0-5, 7th in pace at 100.20 possessions a game. Let's pull up the Action Network and see what we are dealing with here. We have Thunder opening up as 2-point favorites. They're now 1-point dogs. And then from a total perspective, we have 216.5 as the opener, and it's gone up to 219.5. Pacers coming off their third straight loss, 158-126 at home versus Charlotte on Wednesday. It was just a disgrace. Most points allowed in the half, tied for most three-pointers allowed in franchise history. So most points allowed in the half, and three-pointers allowed. Let's take a look at the cash in this spot. We have 3,568 tickets on. So this is the least bet game on the card. 54% of the tickets, 93% of the cash, though. So that's why the markets move towards the Pacers. And then we have 29% of the tickets on the under and 75% of cash on the under, and yet it's moved up 3 points. So a little confusing there. So Pacers have lost 3 straight, 13 of 16, 10 of their last 12 on the road, and have looked just atrocious defensively. They've been playing without Miles Turner for 6 games with a left foot injury. He's not coming back anytime soon. Malcolm Brogdon with a Achilles for the last 4, Domantas Sabonis as well. Over the last 8 games, Pacers have allowed an average of 122.4 points per game. That's the worst defensive rating since January 12th. And Sabonis is listed as questionable.
Yeah.
So, Badadzi and Torrey Craig. I mean, Brissett and Isaiah Jackson. I mean, none of them can really rebound. And but if Sabonis is able to play, he could be in for a big night. Thunder coming off their 6th straight loss, 111-110 at home for Chicago on Monday. So they are on a 6-game losing streak. They've lost 13 of 15, but they've been competitive. They've lost their last 4 games by 7 points or fewer, and the last 2 by 2 or fewer. And Derek Favors has missed 5 straight. Take it away here, Durrell, Pacers, Thunder.
Yeah, I mean, you telling me to take it away? I'm just going to give it back.
I get it.
No play at all. No play at all. No play at all in this game. I mean, this was one of those games where I was like, no. Orlando is one of those. The Lakers is one of those. This game, you don't play the fucking Pacers, and you damn sure don't play Oklahoma City. So, yeah, I don't give a fuck about this game at all. 2 shits. But just for the sake of conversation, you would have to go with OKC at home here, right? If you're going to have a coin flip and you have heads OKC and tails OKC, you just pick OKC. And that's the way you have to look at this game, especially against how bad the Pacers are right now with none of their key players in there, right? I don't know if this is a team that's just going to be blown up. With that being really hard to do, you can't do that and suffer some serious consequences for trying to just blow up your team and rebuild it. I mean, I don't know what the Pacers have here. I don't know. So if I had to choose a side, it's definitely going to be some prop plays, right? Because some of the players should go off. Look at the stars for the team. They should go off. Or just take OKC to win the game. Because even when they're losing, I mean, you know how they play in the third quarter to come back and fight. These guys do fight. These young guys can play. Look at Josh Giddey points. Look at SGA points. See if they're not too juiced or the number's too high. But they're going to get whatever they want off of Indy. But this is still the same Indy team that beat up on my Lakers, being in the same position, pretty much having no one, right? So I just kind of feel like I don't give a fucking shit about this game. That's the way I'm going with it. Whoever you play, best of luck to you.
By the way, we did get you a -5 on the Grizzlies at -110. That's available right now at FanDuel. So at least we cut the hook off of that. I'll keep shopping, but that's better.
Yeah.
If you don't want the 4.5 -118, I get it. Here, I love bum fights, and I want the Thunder, and I guess I should wait and hear what's going on with Sabonis. But Alexi says Thunder is the play of the day. He says sometimes you got to dig in this shit to find
and you're so right. The funny thing is this: if this was like one of 3 games on the slate, I would really, really dig into the game, right?
Mhm.
Because you can always find money somewhere in these games. I think Ski is kind of just put that really in the mix. Like, hey, if you don't think it's a lot of money, you can always try to find money. So yes, Alexi, you are right. But when you got this many games on the slate, man, it's like, yo, just go on to the next one.
Joe Yerger says Indy 13-4 against the spread in non-conference games.
I like this Joe Cat, man.
Yeah, he's great. He's a great capper, huge asset. I love him. He's
I
been
like
with us
this
since the
Joe Cat.
beginning. I find OKC pretty interesting here right now, and I love the Magic Pistons game. I love bump fights, and it reminds me of the late great Erwin Barker, who used to say that he would leave a mint on the side of the sidewalk for the homeless people, so they know what it would be like to stay in a nice hotel. Let's move on to 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Chicago Bulls 30-17, 13-11 on the road at San Antonio Spurs 18-31, 9-16 at home. AT&T Center in San Antonio, Texas. Chicago 3-2 over their past 5, 20th in pace at 97.30 possessions a game. The Spurs 2-3, 10th in pace at 99.50 possessions a game. I want the Spurs in this spot, and I thought I should talk it out here. There's been a huge move towards them. Huge.
I know.
I could have got them at +1. They're now -1 or -1.5. You have to think that there's a player movement because of this. And let's just see if Pinnacle has it on the board. They do. And they have the Spurs -1.5. Clearly, the market moving towards these Spurs. Let's take a look at the cash, and that's where it gets confusing. 6,985 tickets in, 49% of the tickets on the Bulls, so it's a coin flip, but 61% of the cash. Then you have 54% tickets on the over and 81% of cash on the over. Bulls coming off their third straight win, 111-105 at home. I have over the Bulls, so I wasn't paying attention while I was writing this. Spurs coming in on their third loss in 4 games, 118-110 at home versus the Grizzlies. Just 3 games left on the card here at Durrell. Bulls, Spurs. What do you think of this spot?
See, I'm on the opposite side, man. This was another one along with the Hawks game. I was like, yo, why is this line the way it is? Right? It's obviously you're taking the Bulls. You would have to take the Bulls here because of the team they have in motion. Just for narrative's sake, I mean, you do have DeMar going to the All-Stars, right? He's an All-Star starter. So that kind of gives you a little bit of a, I guess if you want to call it momentum boost, motivation. You kind of saw Wiggins do that yesterday when he was named All-Star starter. And, you saw how Golden State played. I mean, I just felt like this was a Bulls side just even looking at this game yesterday. So then I turn around and, I mean, it's only a short number. I'm like, okay, yeah, Bulls should cover that. But then the line starts moving against them. I'm like, wait a minute. This one here just doesn't seem like it's right. Now, if we know something about the Bulls, is the Bulls don't give a shit about the books. The Bulls were taking the books money in the beginning of the year, if you remember that. The books were getting hammered by the Bulls in the beginning. So I wonder if it's one of those things to where the analysis here is this. The Bulls are the better team. San Antonio lost to Memphis. They beat Houston, but they've lost to Philly and Brooklyn and beat OKC. So the people that are, or the teams that they're beating are low-tier teams, right? Now you got DeMar being an all-star, going back to San Antonio where he's played before. You trying to tell me that they're not going to get up? They're not going to get up here? So I don't get it. If you're going to say Bulls have not been a really good team as of late, I can understand that if we're trying to put them in that same category they had when they were fully healthy. They were fully healthy. But they're not fully healthy at this point. You have Caruso gone. You have Ball gone. You have Zach LaVine back in. So your big three are going to be Vooch, Zach, and DeMar DeRozan, who's probably going to ball out. the starters for the squad is not bad at all, man. The Sunwoo's all right. I like Green. I mean, I just like who they have. But what we saw San Antonio do against Memphis, still lost, it kind of gives me cause for pause here that San Antonio could at least be a little bit healthy enough to at least stay in rhythm with them. But as far as winning this game and now being the favorites, I don't get it. I don't get it at all. So if we're looking at the Spurs spreads right now, if you're looking at the Spurs, then you're going to even back off their first quarter ATS because in their last 10, they're 4-6. So even though they're third in the league, they are still starting to lose those first quarter spreads. First half spreads, same thing. Even though Spurs have kind of taken a little step back, they're 5-4-1 in their first half spreads. So if you're going to look at a squad, I like Chicago here. I think this is a Chicago wire to wire, to be honest with you. I think this is a Chicago wire-to-wire game, but I am not sure why the line the way it is. And this is another game that I overthought. And once I start overthinking the games and trying to at least, use a broad perspective to figure out the game, if I still can't figure it out, I'm not going to play it. But I do feel that this is a game DeMar DeRozan will get up for, and this should be a a Chicago Bulls trifecta game.
Interesting. And you have to think that, he's loved in that locker room and they're going to fight for him. But that was just their their first back-to-back wins since January 7th. It's only been 21 days. Levine looked better. It was a win over the Raptors, of course. I don't know why I blanked there. DeRozan 29, Vooch 17 and 15. The Spurs were right in that game with the Grizz, man.
They were.
DeWanta goes for his 10th triple-double of the season. Vassell 20. Keldon Johnson, Podol 18 each. Derek White 14. Lonnie Walker 12. This is strange. Joe Yurkovich Spurs 8-12 against the spread versus non-conference opponents.
There had to have been a big play on this game to make this line just completely move like that. Like a couple of big plays, because you're taking a lot of money to move these lines, but even to look at this game and how the line moved, but a lot of other games haven't done that. And there's really nobody out, right? There's not all the players are going to play, and to have line movement like that without there being some major player news come out is crazy to me. So this one kind of makes it scary.
Yeah, I guess I would have liked that plus line. It's not that much different now. And I don't want to go up against the hottest basketball clapper I know.
I know, man. But hey, listen, we're gonna win these, right? So this is a play that I'm not playing. So maybe you're San Antonio. Even though I give the analysis, there's some games that I've lost. I just haven't played them, right? Which makes it good.
I feel you.
So if I would have took that Cleveland Cavaliers, was it first half or something? They would have lost that one, I believe. So it's just some that you just got to learn how to pick your spots.
Well, let's keep rolling. Next up, 9 p.m. Eastern, Minnesota Timberwolves 24-23, 11-13 on the road at the Phoenix Suns, 38-9, 19-5 at home at the Footprint Center in Phoenix, Arizona. Minnesota 3-2 over their past 5, third in pace at 101.5 possessions a game, while Phoenix 5-0, of course, over their last 5, 23rd in pace at 96.50 possessions a game. Suns open up as 9-point favorites. That's moved to 8.5 at most books. And from a total perspective, we have it opening up at 231.5, dropping to 230, 229.5 at BetMGM. We go over to the cash flow. We see the second to last game on our card today, by the way. When we go over to the cash flow, where is it here? There we go. 8,208 tickets in. 72% of the tickets, 72% of the cash on the Suns. And then we have 54% of the tickets on the over and 78% of cash on that over. Timberwolves on the second half of a back-to-back after their 2-game winning streak snapped last night, 124-115 at Golden State. Cat goes for 31-12. Ant goes for 27-6. But when push came to shove in the most important parts of the game, their defense just couldn't step up. Suns coming off winning their 8th straight game, 105-97 at Utah on Wednesday. They're just all business. But do they care about covering margin? That's the question here. Take it away, Daryl. Wolves, Suns.
Yeah, make this official. I'm looking for it now. I'm going to go ahead and step on Minnesota first quarter here. Sure. Minnesota first quarter. I believe that's a large enough line to where you could get some good value out of how they're playing. Remember, Minnesota is first in the league in scoring in the first quarter. Remember that. right? Suns, for their average right now, Minnesota is at an average of 29.3. They actually scored lower in their last game at 29 points, which was against Golden State. But in their last 3, they're still averaging 30, right? They're still averaging 30. Phoenix Suns, on the other hand, is ranked 5th, being a really hot team. In their last 3, it is now at 31, but in their last game, they had 39 points. So that's why that's gone up for that point. But, as a body of work right now, you look at their last 10, Minnesota is quietly right now top. Number 2, 30-17 for the season. And first quarter ATS, they are sitting 8-1-1. So looking at that body of work, I do believe that Minnesota is going to come back and play good, just like they played good against Golden State. We also know that Golden State plays at just one of the most amazing third quarter games I've seen, right? That's just how they get down. But Minnesota's body of work is telling me that they can at least play Phoenix, maybe even win the first quarter outright. But we know that Suns, I mean, I was even looking at a Minnesota trifecta. Right.
Well, let me come in quickly because Dennis Garcia said, well, what happened was D'Lo got hurt and didn't come back. When healthy, there aren't 5 teams better than Minnie in the West. Left shin contusion. He only played 20 minutes and was ruled out remainder of the game. He's listed as questionable tonight.
Yeah, I think he comes back, which is good. Is good. Maybe that's why the line has gone down, because this was up to about 9.5 or so. And now it's starting to come down. Maybe that spread was too high. But I do believe D'Lo comes back. So I'm going to play it right now, honestly. First quarter I have here is plus 2.5.
Well, we have a +3. By the way, so at this point, we have JaVale McGee, Jay Crowder, Cameron Payne, DeAndre Ayton.
Suns.
They're all – it's a beat-up squad, but they're all day-to-day. Could any of them come back today? Ayton has been ruled out.
Yeah, Ayton is gone. That's who you need. I think JaVale McGee has an illness still, right? I don't think he – is JaVale McGee illness? Or his out. JaVale McGee is out.
JaVale McGee is out. Okay. Let's just see if we can see if Jay Crowder – because we know Cameron Payne is out.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a chance that Jay Crowder
is out?
Jay Crowder is out. Okay.
Yeah. So now you're leaving the work up to your big men with Jalen Smith, right? And then is it Biyombo? Bismack Biyombo?
Yeah, and he's playing.
As long as so what are they going to do to Cat? You know what I'm saying? You can even use your support players. You know who I like as a big for real, man? Nobody really talks about him that much, but true basketball heads know is Naz Reid, bro. I like Naz Reid. I like this cat. Even though he looks like he's about 40 years old, he's real young, man. I mean, I like that dude. So Cat would be a good play. His props are probably juiced. I guarantee you they're juiced. But Cat is going to be a good play. But I like these guys early, very, very early. So that's why I'll take them first quarter +3. Give me that. I got plus 2.5.
So 3 is at -114. Is that okay?
Damn. Yeah. The fact is, as long as we win, right? Let's just win these motherfuckers. I've played games where, on the spreads and they were -115 and -105. So, yeah, if it's under -115, I can dig it. Let's do it. But I do like Minnesota first quarter easily. This should be a game they get up for.
Yeah, and I wanted to – I had some things go on yesterday that took my attention away, but I wanted Wolves first quarter, first half. I don't think I would have pulled the trigger on both, but I was interested in them, and they covered both of those.
They were up by 4 that game, right? The first half in Golden State.
First quarter was 29-29. So
yeah, it's tied, so they covered, right? So, yeah, after second half, and that's the thing. They could do the same thing to Phoenix. Now, ultimately, I do believe Phoenix gets it done, but still, Phoenix won't really cover these large spreads. I lost to Phoenix earlier this week. So I just think this is a good spot for Minnesota, and then stay away from the second half of the game because it is a back-to-back.
Vitalis says Suns just beat the Jazz with CP3 and Booker taking over the game. T-Wolves will be in foul trouble by the third quarter. Kevin Rivas says, aren't Minnesota tired from last night? That's why you would take them early.
You take them early. Yeah. You take them early.
Okay. The Pacers are the favorite now. Again, right? Wouldn't be now, right? Because it
doesn't matter. It does not matter. I'm not playing that damn game at all.
I am. Let me just go over that game quickly here. I thought Here, sorry, let's take a look at that spot. Here, oh no, they are now the favorite. You're right. Okay.
Yeah.
They're okay.
See
Okay,
what-
yeah.
Oof. God.
All right, let's move on to the last game on the card. We have Daryl here for Wednesdays and Fridays these days, and they've been massive cards. You've done a great job figuring them all out. New York Knicks 23-26, 11-12 on the road. Bucks 30-20, 17-8 at home. Pfizer for Milwaukee, Wisconsin. New York 1-4 over their past 5, 26th in pace at 95.60 possessions a game. While Milwaukee 3-2, 6th in pace at 100.70 possessions a game. When the Bucks get embarrassed, I like to back them right afterwards, but so does everybody else. They opened up at -8.5. Now they're 9. And who's that moved it to 9.5? That is BetMGM moved it to 9.5. We go over to the total. We have it opening up at 215, and it is shot up to 217. We go over to the cash flow in this spot. 8,965 tickets in. Second most bet game on the board after Utah Memphis. We have 58% of the tickets, 73% of the cash on the Bucks. 77% of tickets, 92% of cash on the over. Dennis Garcia said, "I've had it with the Knicks pass."
Yeah.
We're not sure, but about D'Angelo Russell, but Daryl has a feeling like he will be in the lineup, but it's just questionable right now. Knicks coming off their second straight loss, 110-96 to the Heat on Wednesday. Obi Toppin goes for 18 on 7-9 shooting. RJ Barrett goes for 17. Julius Randle 11. Emmanuel quickly goes for 12 and 7. This team does not look very good. The Bulls had their 3-game winning streak snapped in ugly fashion, 115-99 at the Cavs on Wednesday, and I had them first half full game, and they dominated the first quarter. That's when Nutflush Allen had them and got out.
Yeah.
But not me. I lost. Antetokounmpo was a rebound shy of a third straight triple-double. Bobby Portis goes for 22. Chris Middleton goes for 21. They go 9 of 32 from 3. You figure they must improve there. Grayson Allen expected to be back. Michael Irvine said, "I smashed Bucks first quarter, first half." I certainly thought about it this morning, but
there you go.
I didn't move on it. Daryl, what do you think here? Last game on the board, Knicks Bucks.
I don't have a play on this game. The problem is that's where the angle is. I think the Bucks can come out quick and fast, especially being at home. I mean, last game that the Knicks played, and that was against Miami, they put up 16 points in the first quarter. 16-30, right? So I don't think they come out flat like that again. But what I do like is the Bucks first quarter. I believe just because of their season average, and once again, I'm using this term a lot too, their body of work, Bucks are ranked 4th in the league in the first quarter points. They're averaging 28.7 for the season. In their last 3, they're giving you that consistent effort of 28.3 or 28.7. Last game was 35. Here's another thing I like about it. They average more points in the first quarter at home than they do away, right? And it's by almost 3 points more. And if you look at the Knicks, it's very, very different. Very, very different. These guys are 27th in the league for the season as far as first quarter points, averaging 25.5. Obviously, because of that 16-point last game, they're doing something right because their last 3, they're averaging 26. But there's a huge, in my opinion, gap there to where I would look at Milwaukee first quarter. Just looking at the opponent's points per game, this says a lot also, and that's going to be off because of the Miami 30, right? But first quarter points per game, Milwaukee is allowing 26, and New York in the last 3 is allowed 29.
Wow.
Right? So it just seems like it's one of those things to where I would look at Milwaukee first quarter. I think this could be a wire-to-wire game. I just don't like the number. So this game here is a pass for me, but I wouldn't knock anybody who took the Bucks first quarter. At least they make a statement early. Also, you want to kind of wait on that news because I'm seeing, I want to see, it may not matter to you, but every player matters in my opinion, right? Every player does matter to a certain degree, whether they're a role player, but you do have Grayson Allen back, as dirty as he is. Rodney Hood is doubtful, but you do have Wesley Matthews, who's probable. And that's also, in my opinion, that helps out in the guard position. If Wesley Matthews plays, I like it even more. So I would step on the first quarter. I just didn't get there with this game. It's another game I may get to, But for right now, I do like Milwaukee first quarter. I believe that line right now is +2 or -2.
Let's see what we can get you. I doubt it's got to be more than that. I would.
Yeah, -4.5, -4.5. That's a lot, but I would get there. I
can get you 3.5 here at.
Yeah, I haven't played it. I just like that angle, but I won't play it just yet.
3.5 we can get you here. Let's just see what Penny is holding here in this spot. So let's move over to NBA. Shoot. Small. Okay. What's going on here? Okay. I don't know what Penny's doing with the NBA right now. Let me just refresh this. Here, see if we get it. But 3.5. Did you want to move on to 3.5 here?
No, I'm not going to move on it. I want to see if, because the thing is the line has gone down, right? Wasn't that at 9? And now it's at 8.5, or is this a little early towards at 8.5? Now it's 9. I thought it was always at 9.
It's at 9 right now, I believe.
Yeah.
Let me just double check this. I believe that it's at 9 across the board. Okay, so it's at 9 across the board.
So it's 9. Yeah. So it's funny that I there hasn't been that much action on this line for it to move in either direction. I just think maybe it's either a sharp line or people don't have interest in this game. But if it gets out of hand first quarter, I don't see how the Knicks kind of survive off of that and come back. I don't. So I wouldn't be mad at any side for Milwaukee. But right now it's just a lean on Milwaukee first quarter.
And I wonder if first quarter over in this game. I'm shocked that the Knicks are allowing 29 points in the first quarter of late. Okay. All right. That is the entire card. Again, we have our guy Daryl working on a 12-game winning streak on spreads. I've only moved on one bet. I made one bet before the show. I took the over 213 in Pistons Magic. Right now, that is at 214.5. And there was books hanging at 212.5. I kind of got screwed with the 213.5, but that's a good sign. I also have interest in Orlando, but maybe that is just a dumb thing to do. And look, Danny Lopez says first quarter MGM is -2.5 and -115. Holy shit. Okay, so thank you.
That's a scale line.
I can jump on to MGM, but why don't I do that right now very quickly? MGM. Let's just quickly see what's going on there. But let's keep reviewing all. Okay, why don't I just jump in and just see if that's because if that's -2.5 first quarter, that should be attacked for anyone who has MGM. Let's move over here. This will be the last thing I check up. Thank you guys for rolling. Oh, great. Connection lost. Okay. See if we. Oh, I'm in. Okay, I'll be looking at that here in a second. But let's review action. The Hawks is strange. It's strange that it's -1.5. We've stayed off. There was a question in the chat, Daryl. As we've done this show, the Lakers have now moved to +8.5.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
So maybe both of them are out. I think the line has moved that way now because you got the news that AD is questionable, right, with his wrist. This is why I didn't want any action in this game at all. Because I'm thinking, why would AD sit and he just got back in? If his wrist is hurt, he played the whole game and played a good game. So maybe, yeah, it's injury management here, and you already know you're going to get smacked by Charlotte. So, yeah, it may be both of them out at this point. I don't think LeBron plays. I don't know. But if he does, you wouldn't – I can't gauge it. You wouldn't see that line go up. Maybe it'll kind of stay, and then you have news that LeBron is in, and then maybe the line starts to even out a lot. Or that was already worked into the number to where there's not that much movement. But
by the way, Danny Lopez bang on. That's a -2.5 at -115 at MGM.
First quarter?
Yeah. Oh, take some time here to think about it. Gerald's first move on the board, Nuggets first half. And thank you, Danny Lopez, my man, for sharing that with us. Nuggets first half -1.5 at -105. Then he's on the Heat first half -4 at -110. He's on the Blazers first half -1 at -109. The Grizzlies full game -5 at -110. And then the final, then he's on the Wolves first quarter at +3 at -114. I like that look. I like your look on the Wolves early. And then we wonder, is there another move in store for Knicks Bucks?
I don't want to force it, so
Okay.
I'm not going to
yeah.
do that.
No, that I like it. And also Westbrook's now a game time decision.
There you
So
go.
lots going on over there.
See?
Daryl, you have been magnificent, and we love it. We love it. Congratulations on your streak and your success. May it continue. Thank you for taking the time to break down these enormous cards with us. Wednesdays and Fridays, you've been bombarded with games, and you handle it with grace and skill. Follow our man Daryl on Twitter at It's Daryl. At It's Daryl on Twitter. Let's get him as much followers as we possibly can. Thank you for all your hard work. Any last words to all the Capper supporting the show?
Y'all, hey, you know how I end, man. I'm grateful. Thank you so much. It's always an honor to be a part of this family. I really do appreciate it. Didn't have any I don't give a fucking shit what the spread is, but I'm pretty sure a lot of these games are going to get out of hand. Y'all be safe out there. Prayers up, man, to the family with COVID. If make sure you just send out good energy, man. Make sure you send out that frequency and get it out. It does work. But I appreciate y'all, and I will see y'all on next Wednesday.
There he is. It's Daryl in the house. Thank you guys all. And God, it's fun. This is fun. All right, let's review all action. And to our man Fat Wally in the chat from the hospital. What a guy trying to get us. We're working on hookups for accommodations down in San Antonio. So look at Wally. What a spectacular guy he is. Okay, so let's review action in NHL. Our man, Mr. Gogster, and our guests have been so strong. Our man, Mr. Gogster, let's move over to his action right now. We were kind of uncomfortable with a lot of the games in NHL, and I guess in NBA as well. Mr. Gogster is making 5 bets on 2 games. He's on the Washington Capitals first period money line at -101, and he's on Washington Dallas on the 3-way draw at +314. Arizona first period team total under a half at -115. He's on Boston first period -1/2 at +106, and the Boston puck line at -123, expecting a Bruins bounce back. And no Mitchell, no Rudy for the Jazz. Yeah, Chuck, they've not looked good. Losers of 9 of 11, right? And then for me, I've only focused on that Caps game. I'm on the Dallas Stars. I got -110. It's moved to -125 at my book, at least at the start of the show. And I'm not sure exactly what it is now. And I'm on the over 5.5 at -120. And I'm quite confident on the over 5.5 -120, regardless of the Capitals not being able to score 4 goals in their past 3 games. Then we have Maxwell Smart, who's been running very hot. And he's been attacking alternative lines of late. And that's what he's done here. So he's on Ohio -2.5. That's an alternate line at +165. And he's on Cleveland State -1.5 at +125. And there he is. There's my guy, Wally, right there. Wally, we love you so much. Man, we love you so much. Piker, I'm down. I'd like to start next week. By the way, Piker, I'd like to start next week. Wally, we love you. Get better. And know you're loved, man. That's the most important thing. Sending you as much positive energy as we possibly can. Cash me out, pick of the day, Portland, Houston, first half over 119.5. Respect, community of New Lodge. Love that you're sharing these plays with us, and we will definitely keep an eye on it. So back to Max. Ohio -2.5 at +165. Cleveland State -1.5 at +125. And Colgate first half -0.5 at -112. And that Colgate game starts in 21 minutes, right? I believe that's Colgate, Boston University, and I believe that starts in 21 minutes. Max is on Colgate first half -0.5. Okay, then we've already gone over NBA basketball. That's it. That's what's up. Sharon says, I want to pull up where we're at in San Antonio. Yes, Sharon. It's 24th to the 31st, but Gogster, myself, Tease get in on the 22nd. It's Tease's 50th birthday, so we're going to do it up on the 22nd. But yes, Sharon, we need you. We need you. We need all of us. Life is rough and unforgiving out there. But not when we're all hanging out together. And then it's magic, man. So let's all hang. Cashman says, where are we getting rooms? We're working on that. So the main thing is if you need to fly and get your flights now because they're so cheap, they are dirt cheap. My round trip flight from Toronto in American was $316. Cost 400 Canadian, 402. Come on.
And Jimmy, I haven't told Jimmy this, but Jimmy and I have a call after the show, hopefully, to discuss rooms. So we're going to do that hopefully here in a bit and knock that out very quickly.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you for that. Jose. I'm just so excited and so thankful that we're all going to get to hang together. Community New Knowledge says, y'all have a Discord, bro. Yes, we do. We do have a Discord and it's popping. It's popping, but I believe it's invite only, and it's kind of tricky to send out.
Go to Ask Big Show. Big Show Picks on Twitter. He's the man. He's the knowledge. And Mr. Fatfish too, Boston Nick.
Those two guys will hook you up. There you have it. Well, we got off the schneid in NHL yesterday, going 3-1. Although I certainly felt like I left cash on the table. We must continue it. I've got a pretty little slate of action right now. And play of the day, Shea. It's a Hornets money line with Hornets team total under. Hornets money line with Hornets team total under. Play of the day from our Joe Yurkovich. Jose, my man, anything to add as it is Friday?
Yeah, I'm just going to quickly recap the plays from the Pub Hub. Go watch that show. There's 10 of us on there, but quickly, I'm on the Bengals. I'm on the 49ers as well, and I have a Bengals 49ers tease that hopefully hits -130. So I just wanted to say that because
you have 5 spots, don't you? Don't you have player props as well?
Do I have player props?
You have 5 spots because you could actually go. Let me pull up your action here quickly.
Yeah, but I get asked about plays. This is just not my schedule of the year. This is just not my time of the year. I don't like basketball. And go ahead, Jim. You have something to say.
Just wanted to review your action. You have Bengals full game +7. You have KC Cincinnati fourth quarter over 14.5. 49ers +3.5. You have the under 46, and then you have the teaser with the Bengals +13.5. 49ers +10.
I forgot about that fourth quarter total. I'm really gonna like that. But yeah, no, I this is just not my schedule. Just wait. We've got some stuff cooking for the baseball season, though. Very excited about that. So
for
can't
sure.
wait for that.
For sure. There he is, the man on the ones and twos that makes the show look so good. Jose, thank you for all your hard work. But you guys in the chat, you make the show special. Thank you for everything. Your insights capping together. We're a team here, and it's the chat that makes the show special. Community and New Knowledge, Michael Irvelina, North Ender, Real Deal Prime, Oz B, James S, Joe Yurkovich, Eric Rosas, Cashman 19, Hoops 590. I'll be on the horse racing show tonight. I'll be rocking that. I won't get on till late, but I'll still have at least last 5 races at Sam Houston and the last 3 races at Charlestown. Also, I'm hosting a new show and doing a watch party on Sunday night for the football game. So I'll be live on Sunday night for the football game. I'll be in touch with you guys about that. But thank you, Cashman. Thank you, all you guys. Let's get that cash. Let's go. Great work, everybody, and especially the guests who've been coming on killing it. On behalf of all of us, thank you. But most importantly, let's get paid. Let's Hey, Los bookmakers!